hello, everybody. I am your androgynous AI game show host from the future, Caster. Hello.
I'm sorry. I was like, okay, wait, do I do that?
Yes, of course you get to say hi. What the fuck, man?
Gender avian co-host Rappy the Owl, currently hanging upside down off screen like a bat.
Yeah, no, I have to go and summon you from the ether. I didn't guarantee when I was setting up the stream I'd have guests.
Please make me very tiny and behind the chair so it looks like I'm perched upon it.
Okay, perfect. Hi, Walker-Cooks. Hey, Sheila. Hey, Ruben. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Welcome. We are very, very organized. We're getting the PNG tube out for Rafi. Where are you?
Bring the bird.
I summon thee.
That's right, folks. They tried to keep me down, but
you're too powerful.
You can't keep, especially on their birthday. It's like the stork bringing a newborn child. I am here to bring.
Are we seriously not going to be summoned rapidly for the ether? We're immediately scuffed. Thanks, OBS. Thank you, OBS. I love it. Thank you.
Wait, no, it's fine. I'll get the
Yeah, we can get the video version running. That will definitely work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, while I do that,
I'll say hi and hello to everybody. Thank you for joining me on my birthday. It's been good. It's been good. I had a brunch with friends and caught up with coffee with friends and went fabric shopping, and it's genuinely been
fabric shopping. What kind of fabric were you looking for?
I do sew. I do indeed sew, and a project that I've been meaning to do for a while is I have a black faux leather with a kind of like prism triangle, like a pyramid triangle embossing pattern in it, and I want to go and turn that into a varsity jacket with sheer sleeves.
Let's go.
So I'm picking up the remaining bits and pieces of it. Hi, Masween. Hello. So I went fabric shopping for that, and that's been really, really good. And I got back in time to go and not only just generally set up the stream, summoning Rafi from the ether. We're gonna get Big Rafi eventually. There we go. Big Rafi is here. Hey Oz, hello. Welcome. Where are we putting you? Where are we putting you, fam?
Yeah, you put me on your lap like you're Santa. No, I like the idea if you can, on the right shoulder, perhaps.
Yeah. It's just gonna be, there we go.
I am the pirate to Oromar Vale.
Perfect.
Why is this giving the entire screen thing? Who knows?
It's fine. I think it's because you've moused over it, but it's fine. We don't need it. We're just gonna this stream isn't scuffed. I promise you.
This stream's doing everything it needs to do.
Yeah. If you've heard that the stream is scuffed, you've been lied to. Okay, perfect. Good. Right, we got all of that out of the way. Yes, I got back home in time to go and set up the stream, but also I've set up things like this.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we do indeed now have sound redeems for the low, maybe too low price of 500 channel points. There is also one additional special redeem available for just this evening. I have, in addition to the General Hydrate command, the Take a Drink command, because if you were listening in the background, I have some cans of cider with me, and we're going to go fucking partying tonight. Yeah.
That's right. It's the Dehydrate command.
Do not laugh while taking the swig of cider. There we go. Yes. Everything is working as intended. That was slightly louder than intended, but that's fine. I think that fits with the energy of the Trumpy fanfare. That one is surprisingly spammable. Use it wisely, kids. But we have two things on our. There we go. You're all going to be gremlins about this. Perfect. Sounded good on that end? Excellent. Marvelous. I just need to turn it down in my ears then. That's fine. We have two things going on. One thing, all of you have been very, very kind. Take a Drink is locked. Oh. Well, let me fix that. Maybe it's because I'm poking at it right now.
Not locked for me. I think it just has a cooldown.
Oh yes, it's a cooldown of 1 minute per. Because if I didn't do that, this could go very bad very quickly.
Consume.
Bottoms up, babe. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just the devil on your shoulder shouting, chug, chug,
Chug, chug, chug. Down it, Fresher. Yes, everybody has been very, very kind. And when I asked for some cool robots, everybody was like, bet. And now I have 50 cool robots.
Let's go.
So we're
A
gonna
lot of cool robots.
we're gonna go through these fucking cool robots and rank them on the grid that we have before you. And do it in a way that you can all see it, but also I can. Well, it's fine if I scroll down. That's not a huge deal if I have to scroll down and do that. But yeah, we're gonna work our way through them all.
Our contestants today.
Oh my god, somebody provided like 7.
Oh, man.
Something.
I was like, I could fit 4 into this Twitter post, but let's see. I'm gonna.
No, they just gave me like a text post of 7 robots, and I'm like, fine, I will go find all of those on Google. Audio engineer in the mentions. Yeah. We're on our way through. But yeah, we have some rankings here. We have some rankings here because everybody's standards on what a good robo buddy is pretty variable. Robot engineer in the mentions. Yeah. They've got to rep their kind. You know what I mean? But how I rank my robots so far, we may have to add or edit or move tiers. We'll see how we go. But our top tier is Perfect Battle Buddy, because you know that I am here for my Robo Battle Buddies. If you've seen the tweet, hey Captain, hello, welcome, thank you for joining us. Then we are followed up by Bad Bitch Bots Only, because a fashionable robot is a good robot, and they're chilling with us. Thank you for the birthday wishes, I appreciate you. We also have I Am Looking Respectfully. I do not know if there are any robots in this list, despite the fact that I have had taken the time to go and find these images and crop them and everything, whether any of them are going to be in the I Am Looking Respectfully tier. I may put one not in that tier, and the chat is going to revolt. We'll see. We have Solid Adventuring Buddy. Those who know me know that I am both a general computer RPG and a tabletop RPG aficionado, and I know a good adventuring robot when I see one to go and solve crimes or maybe cause crimes together with. We have a friend, because a lot of people have sent me some beans, some tiny precious bean robots.
Friendship robots.
Robots to be good friends with. How dare you disrespect the perfect form of Chibi Robo? You don't know how I feel about Chibi Robo. Chibi Robo might be a bad bitch bot. We don't know yet. We're not there.
I have the inside baseball on Caster. I know that Caster could not finish Chibi Robo because boy, that thing was sliding into I'm Looking Respectfully, and they're just like, this doesn't play confusing emotions.
No. Good God. I've actually yet to.
Oh, yes.
Perfect timing. I'm yet to play Chibi Robo. It's actually on my list of robot games to play on stream. This year will be the year of Chibi Robo. I don't know how long the game is, and in terms of how many sessions it would take to finish, but genuinely interested in playing that on stream. We have a worthy rival for a robot that isn't necessarily I would like to have as a friend, but I would like to fight, because there's a design out there of all character designs, so you're like, cool design, I want to fucking punch it. So we have Needs a Makeover, which, to be honest, could be in the tier below Sorry Not My Vibe, considering how I feel about aesthetics. In fact, officially demoted to bottom tier Needs a Makeover. So if you fall into that category, I'm afraid you're gonna need to get your chrome polished, your underlights tweaked, get that RGB lighting on deck, get your chassis remodeled by Jean-Paul Gaultier, whatever needs to be done. But pray that your robot does not end in Needs a Makeover. Right, do we have any questions? Is there any questions from the audience or our co-host?
Not for me. A new challenger does approach as Ruben has entered the call, but they are currently fixing their headphones.
No problem, no problem. Any
things in good time.
additional judges are always welcome. Additional judges are always welcome. Okay, so we have our first entry, and I have the grid available in larger size so everybody can see. Dun, dun, dun. Aegis from Persona 3 Festival. Hey, Geista, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you. But yeah, we have Aegis from. Persona 3, not my favorite Persona. Persona 4 is actually my favorite one, but. As battle robots go, very powerful. How to put this? She comes into existence after the mainline game ends, where the main character fucking dies, or rather is like turned into the door that keeps the underworld from crawling into the real world. And everybody is very sad about it. And in fact, they're so bad about it, a robot gains sentience and then also plunges into hell to see if they can retrieve the main character, which is Aegis. She gets a cool as fuck battle theme and is one of the best characters in Persona 4 Arena. And hey, we have a cool arm gun, which is always appreciated. Would suck to be turned into a door, I agree.
I gotta say, I do appreciate the handgun having the like barrel or the big drum underneath. I feel like that's a design choice that I have not seen before, despite a lot of things. Ruben, we're still getting some background noise from you. No. I know you gotta turn on noise suppression, you dingus.
Hey man, we're doors for food every day. yeah. I hopefully the god of death is not on the other side of your personal doors. one would hope, but maybe it depends on what you ate. But if you're rocking out here with if you've got your school ribbons on point, I don't know why you need to necessarily be dressed like your local high school academy. If you're out here in the labyrinths of the underworld shooting shadows, but she pulls it off. I wouldn't personally wear white and red as a combo, but the brass is bringing it together for me. I'm not quite sure if this is necessarily in bad bitch bots only, but I think for now she did still go to Gekkoukan High, so I've played some Persona 3, but not Persona 3 Answer, like the post game where this character goes in. I did not realize that she just straight up goes to school.
Oh,
proper my life as a teenage robot looking ass. But I'm happy to open the gates into solid adventure and buddy tier.
Yeah, that's what I was that's what I was feeling, what I was expecting.
She turns up earlier in P3P. I see. I own Persona 3 Portable on Vita and never got that far in. It's a good game, plays worse than Persona 4 and 5 for obvious reasons. It's just older. But I should return to it. It is part of the history of the franchise. People out here talking that Persona is their favorite franchise and they've only played Persona 5.
Makers. Okay, yeah, I'm back. And
hello.
This is real.
We're here.
And I'm not hearing the drone of existence behind you, so yes, I believe you're good.
Do you have any additional thoughts on Aegis before we move on, Ruben? Also introduce yourself.
Tankfly, Boss Walk, Jam, Nitty Gritty. You're listening to the boy from the big bad city. It's me, Ruben. Hi.
Hello.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, any additional thoughts on Aegis before we move on to Alexander from Final Fantasy XIV?
Like her sister more. But that's because she's got red eyes, blue hair, and kind of like, looks like Alexander from Final Fantasy XIV in a bit.
Huge.
Big.
I didn't put in a big bots like sex segment in here, although I must say my personal preferences for robot designs are ones that are, like human sized or smaller is usually my preference for a good robot design. I've never been a mech kind of fella. I've never got into the Gundam fandom or the Transformers fandom. Although people have been so passionate about both of those things in this list, that I may have to start looking at some of this shit because people are very, very enthusiastic. Chat is also very enthusiastic.
Popularity, I see.
I'm swayed by the public opinion. You know, I just need to. It's how I build up a parasocial relationship with the people. Can you rank Alexander on his boss theme too? Okay, hold on. So this is probably going to be important. What we're going to go and do is that we're gonna turn off the presentation BGM. We're gonna turn off the jazz. Thank you. And we have a fanfare instead. That's just going to be
that's the boss theme.
That's just going to be the soundtrack for the rest of this. We're just going to go and hide the music credit there because that's not relevant. And what we're going to go and do is that in a separate window, I guess I'm just going to have to like summon relevant music and stuff from these characters and stuff to set the tone if that is relevant. So let us go find, and I guess this is going to be, oh, you should just have the What Did I Dawn music on loop. I mean, it's very good. The soundtrack to Persona 3 I've listened to a hell of a lot, but I've not played very much of the game itself. But let me FF14 Alexander theme. There we go.
Be warned that FF14 music will get you copyright struck.
I mean, this. I guess this video is probably going to appear on in VODs, but it's definitely not going to be something that I'm worried about monetizing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll be all right. But okay. Oh, it has lyrics. That might be a little difficult to talk over. But
it's fucking rap rock.
Oh god, I see. We'll put it low. We'll put it low in my ears.
New metal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Knowing that this thing is new metal aligned is absolutely putting it into like I want to punch it territory. That's for me though.
Oh, it's like hyper bit crushed on purpose because robot. I see. So, Ruben, you seem to be familiar with Alexander. So give me the rundown of what this robot is about, because I am not familiar.
So, Alexander shows up at the end of Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, expansion number 1, Heaven's Word, as a sort of like goblin-controlled, they're called the Illuminati, literally. Their goal is to awaken this primal, this giant robot, in order to manipulate time and to create a universe in which goblins are the the ruling classes. His interior,
Gobby's gonna rise up, boom like thunder, says the lyrics to this song. I see.
What?
Yeah, 30,000 goblins are gonna solve the goblins' problems because the problem with the goblins going rotten until they solve them. Yeah, the 30,000 goblins are gonna solve the problems with goblins with a exploding, smashing, bashing, whacking, cracking, smacking kind of chaos. Woo!
Okay, I'm putting into a worthy rival vibe here. I do not fuck with this robot, but I am definitely gonna punch this robot a lot. I think is where we currently stand.
Oh, hold on, wow, that's funny. We have a new routine. How's that cider?
I'm keeping an eye on that. I've been genuinely sipping it as we've been going. Y'all are being active enough on the minute.
I will continue with this lore explanation because the fight in which you fight Alexander and this song plays is basically you enter a time paradox where you fight its soul. It then starts judging you because it's like the arbiter of the universe and of like the current timeline. What it then does is it sprouts wings, becomes an angel, and like summons time, like does this thing where your character just gets stopped in time and you have to like, you see the AoEs appear and you have so much less time to dodge them because you literally can't move because you're in the stop time. You've been
sure. So you have to kind of predict the fact that you might get hit ahead of time and we've also summoned a picture of you as well. You are also in the room now. Good.
Hey, what's good, everyone? Oh, I love that you have that on hand. Then what's the best thing about this fucking fight is that during like the final phase, it causes another time paradox and summons itself to be in the fight.
Okay.
So you have to fight like a giant version and a smaller version at the same time.
The way that this fight is designed definitely seems to disqualify it from being a battle buddy. Fighting along this side, this thing seems pretty impossible, nor would it want to be fought alongside, I suppose. But
You can like operate it as a mechazord, but no, this is not a
I'm not goblin sized, so I clearly do not fit inside this thing.
They're like 2,400 pixels tall or something like that. That's not goblin size.
You also travel back in time to save yourself. Yes, that's true. In the fight, you travel back in time to save yourself from like the raid wipe AoE.
Man, there are so many cool boss fights in Final Fantasy XIV, but it is bogged by like 8 hours of trying to fetch cheese from a dungeon for people, and I just couldn't play it. It was really boring. I wish it was got me to the good stuff that's really good plot-wise, like early on, but unfortunately, I just couldn't get there.
And then it's like, oh, pay 70 euros for a story skip.
No, thank you. Moving on. Although that does sound like a cool boss fight. I would watch somebody, like a friend who is currently playing the game, screen share the game with me and show me all the cool bosses. I'd do that. That's sick. But otherwise...
Once I get back into FF14, I'd love to showcase you all the cool shit.
Oh, yeah. Duly noted. I'm going to have to remind myself the name of this robot fella here. But they are from Wild Arms 3.
I think I can guess this person's name. Zigbar. Hold on.
Zigbar is very much a Kingdom Hearts character, but it definitely fits into the energy. It definitely fits the energy. I do not know a single thing about this fellow, and the character art that they gave me is quite small. But look at that trench coat. Look at them big gauntlets, color harmonized. This is
that hourglass figure.
You know, the waist is snatched for the gods. Got that bee body going on, but also massive gauntlets for the silhouette in that kind of like shiny off black. You know, this is premium. You know, we're not going for a matte black. We're not like that kind of grim and gritty first person shooter carbon fiber vibe. No, we're luxury here. So
He's also got a dual disc.
Yeah, I guess that's what that dome on their right hand is. I'm appreciating, you know, gold and kind of dark chocolate brown, solid combo. Thank you for the drink.
This robot walk a mile in these Louboutins.
Mm-hmm,
Wild Arms 3 is about, you know, a desert world, so we out here traveling through Nevada.
Yeah, this is couture that can survive desert winds.
Hold on. Talking about shoes, can we move that JPEG
yeah,
to the left
we
so
have. I'm leaning.
I am briefly asking what these are.
Yeah.
Are those?
Those are pretty solid combat boots. I mean, if I was like the color blocking here is maybe a little too intense. If this is me, if I needed to style this robot, I would maybe change the color of the gloves or the boots to be a complementary color rather than the kind of similar shade of black. You know, the style of wearing like 4 different shades of black and calling that a full outfit was very like 2010, and we've moved on since. But I am willing to put our friend Asgard here into bad bitch bots territory.
Hell yeah. I think that is a solid call. Like, me personally, I'm looking like, okay.
You're looking respectfully, okay.
If this guy's got a voice like, you know, the wada, you know, da 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 kind of,
Yeah.
then definitely men sliding down a category for me in the best way. But I think Bad Bitch Bots Only is a solid place for him to land. Solid place. Any additional any
counter arguments, Ruben?
No counter arguments. I am a big, tremendous fan of Wild Arms 3, and I can only corroborate. There's no voice acting, but the way that he is written is definitely yada yada dizzy.
Okay, excellent. Moving on, we have a character that I do not know.
Just realized he has yaoi hands also.
He can shoot you from the range.
This man could cup your entire face, like have your chin in his palm, and his finger go into your forehead.
Oh my God! Are we? Well, we'll see. We'll see if we'll see how crowded Bad Bitch Bots tier gets. If anybody needs to be moved into I am looking respectfully tier. Why are all these bots so snatched? I know, right? Moving on to Ash from Apex Legends, a character who I do not know.
Back up. This is okay. No, Ash is from Titanfall.
Wait, hold on.
Slender. Okay.
Is that true? Yeah, okay. You're gonna have to explain a thing to me. I do not know either of those franchises.
They are in the same setting. That's but it's like saying I don't know, Luigi from Mario Kart or something. It's like saying Luigi from Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, I see.
That is technically, Ash is definitely fantastic.
Encouraging.
That's killing me. I gotta dig into the gotta remind myself about the Ash Titanfall lore, something I've not thought about in one extremely hot minute.
I mean, while you're looking that information, we need to do the fit check first of all. Compared to our previous contestant, we do also have a snatched waist in this house. Clearly trying to aim for a femme yet androgynous figure, which I appreciate. But this is a robot that clearly knows effective color blocking, using the combination of, we've got this kind of like khaki sand and then a kind of like deep teal as the contrast between the light and dark hair. I'm appreciating that. We've got the white accents, also appreciating that. And we've got the techwear hood. I mean, that hood alone, even though it's clearly not connected to any other items of clothing, just that hood is going to be kind of like fucking $1,500 from what's the big techwear brand? It's immediately leaving my head, like Atmosphere or something along the lines of that. You would buy just that hood alone and it would cost you 2 months rent, which so this is a murder bot who has money, clearly.
Question for the council. Ash is only wearing a hoodie. The rest of her chassis is exposed. Slut or not?
Oh, I see. I mean, leaning again to the side, we do have an entirely extraneous zipper going from the bottom of her solar press, which... What's behind that? Do I want to know? Should I know?
Hey, Rafi, what's that Titanfall lore? Can you fill that in?
Is this robot, again, not played either Apex Legends nor Titanfall, is this robot like 20 foot tall? Is this like a Jehati, this is where the cockpit is situation?
No. This is like human who was a really good mech pilot, then bit it and had their like consciousness uploaded into this like basically mannequin robot. And there's something on the wiki about like, oh, her personality was split between blah blah blah.
Ash
but like Ash is human sized, still pilots mechs, and is like out of all of the kind of like head honchos of the Titanfall series, Ash is definitely the most I would say like cold and direct, like get out there and fight. That kind of thing, except with less of the I'm not doing this kind of voice. Just real straightforward, and honestly, in a series, the main thing in my mind in Titanfall 2 is like you've got between the goodies and baddies, which have a pretty clear delineation. Most of the baddies are just like, hi, I'm Space Hitler, or just being some kind of uncharismatic evil, or like just mustache twirling kind of. And Ash is like cold, calculating, but definitely I would say refreshingly cool, because I would not say Space Hitlers are cool.
So I got, sorry, go ahead, Ruben.
No, I just said good. Thanks, Rafi, for clearing that up. I was worried there.
I know. I kept y'all in suspense.
So what I gathered from that lore dump is that she had an organic body, then got to have the perfect robot body of her dreams, and then she decided that needed like arm, wrist blades, and additionally a katana.
Also, like what, like stilt legs? You know,
I mean, I love this design. To be honest, it's like, you know, with all the kind of, when we kind of talk about like sci-fi, like robot, oh, my consciousness has been digitized so I can pilot a robot, Warhammer 40k shit, and it's just like, oh, I'm just in a cube with some guns, and she's like, no, I'm going to carve myself the waspiest wasp waist in the 7 galaxies.
We're not capitalizing that wasp. This is Yellow Jacket.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go and give our first perfect battle buddy tier. I think she managed this to ascend beyond bad bitch bots tier. If she had the option of giving herself any robot body and she gave herself that, then she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. I respect somebody like that.
I was gonna throw this into the ring in case you weren't gonna give the PBB rating. She has a pet rat that she takes into battle.
What?
Yeah, she has in Apex Legends. Like her splash screen when you select her as a character, she gets out her big old katana sword. And oh wait, no, sorry, this is like a banner animation. She gets out a big katana sword, and then from the hoodie, the rat appears, walks up the point of the katana, and then she brings it close to her face, and it's like, we're friends.
I love her. She's
God.
great. Oh my god.
Stan.
I don't know who suggested this lady. I cannot remember. A lot of people suggested a lot of robots, but I'm very impressed. She is very good. Perfect battle buddy number 1 achieved. Moving on to, I think, what is also going to be in the PBB territory pretty fucking quickly. The one and only Astro Boy.
Mr. Boy himself.
Oh my gosh.
Could I tell a very brief Astro Boy story from my childhood?
Please do.
The only Astro Boy media I've ever watched was it was one of those times, you know, where you're up weirdly early as a child, and you go to the TV and turn it on, and you're seeing anime that you've never seen before. At least, you know, I didn't have cable as a kid, so this was, you know, what is Channel 7 showing? It's showing, you know, it's giving us Sailor Moon and whatever. And this time it was Astro Boy. The episode involved like scientists who are having their brain taken out by something, and like after their brain was taken out, they just acted very, you know, stupid. It wasn't like actual, you know, intense, you know, they fall over dead. But the idea of something coming and sucking your brains out terrified me as a child, and I don't even think I saw the end of the episode. I was just like, oh my god, this is horrifying.
Astro Boy as like a show and manga, fucking hardcore. Osamu Tezuka is a genius. I love his work so much. Especially stuff that he's done in kind of like a collaboration with other artists. There is the manga series Pluto, which is takes the Astro Boy universe and puts it in a much more adult, like noir kind of circumstance of an Interpol detective trying to solve a string of robot murders, and it is genuinely one of the best mangas I've ever read. Even the kind of like cartoony Astro Boy stuff manages to kind of have properly nuanced discussions about robots as people, and not in the kind of like boring cyberpunk way where it's kind of like, oh, if you're too cyber, you're not human, they're just murder machines. They manage, you know, the good discussions around this topic has been happening from time, and Astro Boy has been kicking that space for ages. I've been meaning to rewatch the 2003 anime for quite a long while, trying to find a good place to get hold of it. And if that wasn't enough, there is a Treasure video game. Treasure, like the people who did Gunstar Heroes. on the GBA that plays like Gunstar Heroes as Astro Boy with like really chunky hit stop when you hit enemies, screen clearing lasers, a machine gun lodged in Astro Boy's booty, so he just twerks everywhere and like bullets fire everywhere and destroy everything on screen. It is fucking hilarious.
Okay.
So stupid, but also very good.
So, where would you rank this?
I mean, there is no, like, Astro Boy is a child, cannot be in the bad bitch bots territory. And is definitely too competent to be in solid adventuring buddy tier. You know, this is clearly a perfect battle buddy tier, personally. You know, if you had to go and pick a robot in this is a robot that fought the robot son at one point to save Earth. Important robot.
Very important. Thank you, Astro Boy, for your service.
No, the GBA game is genuinely. If you're the kind of person that likes those, it doesn't quite hit like Bayonetta style character action because it's a 2D game. But if you like keeping that damage combo meter up, and every time your combo reaches high enough, you get another stock of screen clearing special, this is a video game you genuinely must play. We're bumping music from the first stage in the game for those who are watching the stream right now. Okay, who we got next in the list? We have a fanfare, thank you. But we also have the Mega Man Classic version of bass. Not submitted by the bass that I know, funnily enough. Or do they prefer going by bass or forte? The artist that's part of the Net Battlers community.
I mean, I think it would be bass or Lou.
Yeah. I don't think they've ever gone by. I was like, wait, hold on. Double checking that I'm getting the localization right for a username. No.
I guess interesting that you mentioned bass. I guess vanilla, you know, mainline series form. I kind of figured that Navis would not be on the table because they are digital and not robots.
I would have let that fly under the wire, but somebody did submit an AI in the listing, and acknowledged as much. But you know, mostly people went for robots and androids. Some people selected cyborgs, and that's a spicy fucking choice. I guess Ash technically is it's a digitized consciousness, not a human brain in the robot. Correct. So yeah, it is an android and not a cyborg. The difference is important to me and me alone.
with that cyborg submission, just forcing you to like solve like 60 years of transhumanism in one stream.
Just let it be known. Had I wanted to push the letter, absolutely would have submitted Plantman.exe. Would have expected them on bad bitch box only.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. They may have even been one of the few selections in I Am Looking Respectfully tier. Who
let's
knows?
Go. We have a good taste haver in the call.
But yes, I never really played that many of the classic games. Or any, really. Have I? Real question, does simulated meat count as android or cyborg? Because meat is meat. I would say...
I love the statement of, because meat is meat.
I would say that if you went through... It would be really interesting to kind of go through the process of... You'd be talking about cloning at that point, I would say, rather than necessarily trying to make an android. One of my favorite cyberpunk settings, just called Android, the card game Android Netrunner uses that setting. And it's Android specifically because two of the mega corporations that are the villains of the setting work in two different types of android. There's Hasbioroid that makes like metal androids, and there is Jinteki that makes clones, and they both do exactly the same job, and they keep arguing with each other saying that the other version of the thing being made is unethical. because, you know, the people who are making clones are like, oh, why would you want to kind of replace the nature of humanity when we are just upgrading it and making it mass available, blah, 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 blah. So they both, technically, a fully organic, artificially made person would be an android. I would call that clone, just to kind of make sure that nobody is confused. Interesting that we differ there. For me, the brain is the important bit. If you've got a bio brain, still a cyborg. If you've got an artificial brain, that's an android, even if it's piloting a meat body. I would agree. Yeah. No, if you've still got a human, like, brain and spinal cord, which is clearly not how any of this works in real life, but in a piece of fiction, right? I would call that a cyborg. I still need to finish Soma, good God. But this is a distraction, because Base is pure 100% prime cut robot, baby. But I've had very little experience. I do not, however, like Base's design at all.
Okay.
You got Becky hair.
I was just thinking, like, looking at the big crest and trying to picture how that translates to human hair, and I legitimately do not think I can do it. Like, I can't picture... It's like... They took the idea of a widow's peak and just, like, stretched it so hard.
Best.exe looks great, but the mainline form is, yeah, no, fully agree. I mean, if it was something like, oh, this is, like... It bases radial antenna that lets him, like, intercept radio waves from 1 million miles away. Like, if they gave a reason for why the design was so goofy, I'd be like, yeah, no, I see it. That's kind of worked in. But as it stands, I ain't feeling it. You can't be evil. Looks, I mean, we've got Snake Man out. Is there a proper Snake Man? There is a proper Snake Man Robot Master, right? And not just SnakeMan.exe.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He looks very silly. He kind of looks like he's wearing a snake fursuit.
But unfortunately, I think we've had our perfect battle buddies. But I think for me, Base doesn't quite hit worthy rival. This is I couldn't take him seriously. We're gonna have to be putting to me to makeover tier. You need to come back.
Damn.
Come back with a new look before I'm ready.
Come back with the cloak.
I enjoy Robot Master Base, but absolutely in a, like, this guy's looking kind of goofy in a way that feels almost kind of intentional and fun. Like, they didn't want to go full Shadow the Hedgehog. They wanted to, like, make some design choices that are giving the impression that, like, you don't have to take this guy too seriously. But I understand your reasoning. I think it's totally valid.
Yeah, the makeover in Battle Network, genuinely an improvement. I'm down, I agree.
Such a blow up.
We have next in the lineup Baymax from Big Hero 6, who is such a good design. That movie was a nothing movie, but what a good design.
Look at our friend.
There was like I think relatively recently, a full, like, Disney Plus TV series specifically about Baymax. Not seen it. But the design is really good. I really enjoy that it's kind of, like, the premise is specifically about how robots can be assistive, which is nice. You know, rather than an ongoing conversation about robots are going to kill you and take your job in that order specifically.
So I haven't seen Big Hero 6. I don't know why you brought up a PNG of the adipose from Doctor Who, the freaking little aliens made of fat. I don't think they were robots.
Yeah, no, this is like a physical therapy robot that has like a big squishy exterior to make it difficult to harm the patients that it looks after, and then it gets like a battle suit because inevitably the movie they have to go and fight some robots because
therapy not as important as combat.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of the discussion of the whole thing, I guess, of like, oh, this is a robot built for peace and we've had to turn it to war. Not like Astro Boy and Mega Man have both done that exact narrative, but Baymax is a very special child.
I've not seen Big Hero 6, but I can only imagine that it sounds a little bit like
It's all very. It cranks up the kind of like robot synthesizer stilted voice. He's like, "Are you in need of assistance?" Kind of.
Are you in need of assistance?
Oh, Wally is. Nobody suggested Wally as a listing. We may have to have a bonus include. I can't add any pictures. Once you've made the tier list, you can't add more, which is why I had to wait until the last minute to go and put all of this together. Thank you, everybody, for being so diligent. But we are very much entering our first entry, I think, into a friend.
Yeah. I want to know how it tastes.
of kind of like I think freshly cleaned vinyl, I think is the answer, unfortunately.
No, it's definitely just marshmallow. You're lying to me. You're trying to stop me from eating the robot.
It looks and smells like marshmallow, but it's actually, you know, the white filling they use for CPUs.
A thermal
yes.
paste, okay.
Yes.
Delicious whipped cream. Whipped cream on your CPU.
Put it in my mouth slot. Yes.
Of course, perfect. We have
Stick a straw on that boy.
Deflate him now.
before he gets deflated, we move on to Bender was suggested.
Oh, okay.
I mean, personally, the best voice role of DiMaggio. I think a better tier, even though at this point, like Jake the Dog would be more iconic. But definitely a better voice acting role than resident fascist Waka from Final Fantasy X. Dear God, you're aware of like how what Waka is like in FF10. Well,
Oh, yeah. What does that mean? It's like don't ask a man about his salary. Don't ask a woman about something else. Don't ask Rock about what he thinks about
Albed.
Albed.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah.
Not having played the game, I thought that boy's just loving Blitzball.
That is one of his 2 character traits. Yes.
It's
no.
ethnic cleansing.
Oh man,
Yeah,
true
the-
to life, honestly.
Part of the gist of FF10 is that there is a race of people who are familiar with the ancient technology in the setting, the Albed, whereas all the other kind of like communities and races on the planet speak common English, however you'd frame that. Albed are the only people that don't have their own language. And there is the resident religion heavily dislikes these machine-loving people, and Waka is fully deep-throated subscribed to that religion. And the moment that you get a party member who is also Albed and uses Machina to do things, basically every line out of that man's mouth is about how much he dislikes her and her people, and it's horrendously uncomfortable.
Man, this really is what football fans are like, am I right?
Yeah. Remember? Oh my God.
And I am talking about soccer.
Remember when you go to, you know, the capital of Albed, of home, and that gets blown up, and the first thing that, you know, as you narrowly escape this giant nuclear blast devastating the Albed capital, the first thing that Waka says is, "Hey, don't be sad, it's like fireworks, huh?"
Ooh, oof,
Yeah,
ouch.
Yeah.
The good news is that Bender is not Waka.
Yeah. Bender is intentionally a terrible person, but also entirely ineffectual at it, so it's fine.
I think Bender is the libertarian to Waka's, like,
Hardline conservative, yes.
bro-fash. God, Proud Boy Waka, do not like. But I would say, I think it is solidly worth considering, you know, giving Bender points for the number of visual gags that come from the fact that his eyes can slide out. It's just good content.
Whenever I think of Futurama, I think of the episode where he's like terrified that when he's decommissioned, nobody will remember him anymore. and gets to like a giant like 60-foot statue of himself with like a pharaoh helm going, "Remember me!" And that's how I feel about releasing my tabletop RPGs, so I respect the hustle.
Oh, same. So really, he just like me for real.
But you know, there can only be one of us. I think if Bender learned that tabletop RPGs are a thing, he would try and kind of like worm his way into being like a high-ranking person on like a Dungeons and Dragons podcast for maximum clout. So I can only.
Yeah, maximum clout, and then 2 years after the sex pest allegations.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I can only put him into worthy rival territory.
I think Bender would get in trouble for beating Travis McElroy's ass.
In the quotes tweets.
I would personally okay, well, Bender's sure as hell not going on Awe of Friend. I think Bender could maybe go on Solid Adventuring Buddy, but also, you know, this, you would be like, okay, Bender, we're gonna do this, and he's like, no. So it probably does not deserve to be there.
Yeah, I respect him as a rival, but I could not work with him.
Yeah.
He'd be offended if it took 2 years to get sex pest accusations. Very true. Next up, we have... I need to remember the name of this character. This is one of the ones that Rafi submitted.
BT!
Yes!
I am looking respectfully.
What them cuboids do.
Damn, what the hands, that power, that Optimus Prime voice, yes.
Okay, so
So how large is BT? Because I do know that Titanfall 2 is like max.
20, 25 feet, something like that.
Right.
You know, BT is big. A human fits in like that little cockpit torso. It is... BT is kind of like... If you want a boy and his dog, except it is a man and his big robot pal, the BT is just like they are. BT is an incredible second part of a buddy cop duo. You know, you got the whole like. The bit of tragedy where BT's previous operator, you know, as the player character, you are basically a fresh recruit in the military sent on a mission that goes horribly wrong, and BT's, you don't have a mech of your own, but you're going to get one soon. And BT's operator dies, and in like dying moments, it gives you like... I don't think it's like the keys to BT, but like gives you his helmet, and so there's a bit of an odd couple relationship between the two of you at first, with the whole, you know, this robot doesn't understand figurative speech and sarcasm, and you know, as the game unfolds, the player character, the banter is fantastic. Like legitimately, Titanfall 2 is a very good popcorn game, but I think just excellent partner, does the fastball special with you.
I was going to switch that thing
just
so much.
has one of the most memorable parts of a game that has a lot of memorable parts to it. BT picking you up and throwing you like hundreds of feet into the air.
Okay, yeah.
It's game's good. I mean, does that multiple times, but
I mean, when you mentioned that there was good banter, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm listening, because you know that's I think if this is supposed to be a traveling buddy, but they spent the entire time being like, I am robot and do not understand the communication between us for like 20 hours, for as long as that the thing goes.
Nope.
That's good. That is encouraging. I am interested. I'm interested in what you are advertising to me, friend. I think this is selling me on Solid Adventuring Buddy. I do not think this is a perfect battle buddy for me. He too large.
I understand. If large is a disqualifier, then I can't. I'm not gonna lie and tell you. Actually, you know, BT is the size of a freaking Funko Pop. It's just not true.
I'm keeping an eye on Come Go Tavern's potential awoogas for upcoming robots. I will see.
I will say, if you want to learn what BT is like, and also see Ash's part in the campaign, I would be happy to stream.
Oh yeah,
playing the Titanfall campaign for you sometime.
I'd be down for that. Yeah. It's not a thing I would be able to play, but I would watch somebody play and explain all the good bits to me.
No, I know. I wouldn't inflict fast-moving FPS on you, friend.
For those who don't know, Rafi watched me slowly break apart trying to play Metroid Prime.
They tried, and
I had a clear ego death during that process. What do you mean I can't use? What do you mean there's 3 of them, and they all require different weapons? I can't. I'm dying. Oh god, but yeah, no, solid adventuring buddy territory. Good. Sorry, let me resume some sci-fi robo jams. We digging that out of the archives. Not quite exactly robo jams, but let's get some Nocia going for the time being. I think that'll do.
Next up on the silver
thank you.
platter.
Next up, we have Chibi Robo.
Oh, baby, little buddy.
I mean, we're gonna have to go a little faster on some of these because I realized we've been streaming for over an hour and we've only done like 10, and there's 50 of these motherfuckers. Yeah, we're too kind. Little guy. So unless there is a cool additional detail that those who are familiar with Chibi Robo to offer, this is definitely a friend territory for me.
I mean, I don't think there's any real contradictory territory there. He gets a lot of fun little tools, has a propeller pop out of his head and stuff like that. Just super cute.
Imagine the team that Chibi Robo and the prince from Katamari Damacy would make.
Oh man.
Well, they would achieve. I agree.
World peace, intergalactic.
This can't be real.
Oh, thank you very much.
5 subs.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. You already donated me subs before. You don't need to, but that's very nice of you.
Yeah, it's your birthday
Thank you.
now, bitch.
Motherfucker, take a gift.
So that means we're only 5 subs away from
5 subs away from karaoke stream.
You can make this.
There we go. Thank you.
make this friend belt they guts on stream.
If we do achieve that, I actually have a request for some music mixing that I would like you to do for me, Rafi, because I have a very good idea.
Hell yeah, I would be delighted.
For a song that starts one way and then turns into something else. So if y'all want to see that, tell your friends to subscribe to the channel and
Yeah, you got Twitch Prime.
Make numbers go up and things like that. Yeah. Anyway,
Don't forget to link and subprime.
we have. Whoop. No, not you. We have a transform. Oh, we will absolutely take a stretch. Thank you.
Yeah, my legs are getting stiff.
I have also.
What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is this robot? It is a transformer. I do believe it is like Emperor Starscream or Coronation Starscream. Let me double check. Coronation.
Into a car, send him to the junkyard. Damn.
Yeah. Apparently, so in the long list of Transformers that people are, for the whole 5 seconds he wore that crown, so he wasn't even in this character design for long. People just saw this one screenshot of this bitch in a cape and was like, flooded basement immediately. Is that all it took? Your standards are low.
Okay, the phrase flooded basement, I've not heard that before. That is disgusting. I am glad I learned this today so I can inflict it on others.
You mean it's a surprise? It's surprisingly common in at least British English, but good.
No, that's your horny for the entire year. I'm gonna say.
We'll see. We'll see what some of these robots are like. Hold your horses. I mean, Starscream, I know, is a very popular Transformers character and kind of like the second in command villain. Because Megatron, this is my I have never seen a Transformers media cultural osmosis talking. I know that Megatron is the main villain, and I think Starscream is like Starscream with an M is like the evil vizier character, like tenting his fingers in the background and making machinations about how he's going to be king. And then never succeeds because that kind of character archetype can't actually be good at what they do. And he turns into a plane. That's all I fucking know about him. I am unimpressed.
Sucks to suck.
I am unimpressed. I think somebody separately suggested Starscream Vanilla, and I was like, well, let's go and take the one that's a little bit more elaborate, I guess. There's clearly been lots of incarnations of these characters over time, so there must be a reason why this one was selected. But I think this is the funnier one. I think the fact that it's funny moves it out of needs a makeover tier and sorry, not my vibe tier. Yeah, there are times you could argue Megs isn't actually bad, but Starscream is an evil vizier through and through. Sure. From my limited understanding, the kind of like Autobots Decepticons thing is like framed as good versus evil, and then it just turns out to be a conflicting ideology thing depending on who writes it. There is apparently a very, very good Western comic series, like the IDW publishing company do apparently a very, very good Transformers comic run where a decent chunk of the robots are queer, and to be honest, that's enough to get me on board to read a fucking comic book. So nice.
Sound of metal bonking on metal.
There is at least one robot in it that is trans, and I'm like, yeah, no, that tracks. That tracks. If you can infinitely reconfigure yourself, then God, I wish, etc. Moving on, we have Cube from Live Alive.
Oh my god!
Very good. Cube is cube.
That's not a cube. Ding.
Disqualified.
It is it's kind of funny. I've recently played the re-release of Live Alive on Switch because it used to be like a Japanese only SNES game for forever, and then only last year got localized into English. And I've not finished the scenario Cube is in, but it opens with the kind of like engineer that builds Cube and is all kind of like, oh, I'm really bad at naming things. I'm gonna call you Cube. And you can choose to take that name or give it the robot literally any other name. He looks like he would gatekeep games or anime. Mostly he just goes beep beep boop boop and watches as the crew members on the spaceship get paranoid, get depressed, or fling themselves into space. His story is deeply fucking sad, and because you can't speak English, so you basically just learn to become attached to all these characters in the very brief space of time. You've not been alive for very long, but you get a really good impression of the relationship between the like 5 people who are aboard the spaceship, and then you just watch their lives fucking fall apart. It's in a game that otherwise in all the other storylines are straightforward JRPGs where you're using like lasers or flinging kunai around, or you're like a cowboy doing some pistol tricks, and this you're just a very polite robot watching your friends die, and that's the entire storyline. It's fucked up.
But at least he has glasses to witness the demise of his
his vision is perfectly 2020 while they're watching people like go through mourning and loss. It's great. But he is a friend.
Is that like a design choice? Like you intentionally make a robot's vision bad just to give him glasses?
Do we know if they have frames in them? This could be like predicting the mid 2000s trend of the,
hipster glasses. Yeah.
I mean, look at this thing's style. I think it could totally pass for being a hipster robot.
It's very 90s cool.
Cube is lumbersexual?
I think the idea is that it's like the cap and the glasses belong to the engineer, and they were like, you need some clothes. I do respect the 8-wheeled roller skates, though.
For sure. Tank trap.
Not 4
That's an
wheels, but we need the 8.
That's an APC.
I mean, okay, Caster saying like, oh yeah, they looked at this thing and went, it needs clothes, and then put shoes, hat, and glasses on it is like, it just makes it look more naked. But at least that's generally the principle.
It's a very Sonic character design where like all the female characters in Sonic wear full outfits and all the male characters don't give a fuck, and you just don't think about it too hard. You just don't think about it too hard.
We need the poo syndrome.
I guess this is a friend territory. I don't think I could rely on it to be an adventuring buddy.
No.
It's got depression.
It would be very of ill portent if everybody that this robot has adventured with has died in deep space. I'm not quite sure if I personally would then want to adventure with it afterwards.
Yeah, there's some near automata shit.
Next up, we have the collective of Daft Punk, who are in canon an android and cyborg. I do not know which one is which.
But does it really matter when they're in your bed?
I mean, this may
Could be
this
when
may
it matters the most.
this one would be surprised. This may be the first entry into I Am Looking respectfully.
No contest.
Good God. Especially since of the entries so far, they can bring the playlist.
That's true.
You know?
Okay, Caster is like, yeah, I want to work it harder. Caster wants to roll.
I was my mind went more to the kind of space in like the album Get Lucky, like Lose Yourself to Dance and stuff, the kind of like yeah, no, the nightclub is coming to an end, we've got the slow jams, but hey, I'd go to Technologic if they would.
No, they are putting on Crescendolls on loop and you are gonna move to it or not.
Okay, so I'm one of those gays that enjoys the like horror synth version of like Kim Petras's work. I would absolutely get nasty to like Demons or Knives from her work. So Crescendolls is nothing. That's Baby Town.
I definitely picked my least favorite Daft Punk song for that comment.
I know that you're not as much as like a hyperpop fan as I am, so I would understand. We have one of Oz's choices here. This is a character from Fallout 4, as I understand, Detective Nick Valentine.
I have seen the man before. Don't remember his newspaper opinion.
I mean, all these characters are coming from, like, anybody from Fallout is coming from a time period where wearing this style of hat would be acceptable and not of a larger cultural implication. So he's just playing to the noir archetype. Not that he necessarily has opinions about relations on like Reddit or whatever. So we can let that go.
I wasn't even going for that. I was more just thinking of the Fallout 4 like meme of hate newspapers, since they really gutted the
oh really
dialogue interface. Oh yeah, they gutted the dialogue interface, so it can only show like a couple words at the time unless you mod it. And there's this whole like just it wasn't a great idea. But anyway, Nick Valentine, I don't know if I can summon opinions about this guy except that like, man, I don't know. There's just something like chillingly severe about how he looks, and I don't feel safe in his presence.
So go ahead.
I will say I am a big fan of sort of the casual robo gore, and the fact that he's just his face is technically coming off.
True.
Cool design.
Very cool design choice. I have played Fallout 4, don't remember much of his character, but I know that he's like trying to like figure out a mystery and is kind of supporting like synth rights because synthetics have rights too. So he's coming up. He's repping the cause.
I mean, for me, he starts ho-hum, but by the end of his DLC, I'm definitely saving a spot for him at the dinner table. Okay, I understand. I mean, like, I was like, Robot Detective, that ticks 2 of some big boxes of what kind of character I really, really like. He's a sweetheart who looks like a nightmare, and so I love him. Yes, understand, definitely understand. This is solid adventure and buddy tier for me personally. I would absolutely go on a tabletop RPG adventure with the good detective. I think they are a character that would be able to contribute to the mystery solving with their skill set and be enthusiastic to do so, and that counts for a lot in my books.
Now she here, I'm about to roll Compel plus Haven to see what is up with this mystery.
I'm currently in a heart campaign run by Ruben, to which I am playing a detective. So this is par for the course. This man would be a perfect prom chaperone. He's all about keeping room for Jesus between you. I see.
I think it's just the look on his face makes me feel like he would act identical to Columbo, except he would just randomly shoot someone once per episode. Just like sparks fly out of the arm, and then it is just, shower of blood, bullet through the skull.
Now, I didn't say that. Okay, I see.
Now, just one more
bang,
thing.
yeah. Good. I like this robot. Don't know whether I tried playing a little bit of Fallout New Vegas and enjoyed it, but sandboxes are not so much my thing. I think it would be a thing I would go back to with a walkthrough. Fallout 4 I have not heard very kind things about, but would definitely watch an LP of this person's storyline. I am intrigued.
That comment gives me heartaches by the numbers, troubles by the score.
We have another Raffi pick. We have what I understand's name is just Dog.
Dog!
I love Dog.
Oh, Dog. Dog, again, Dog, big friend. I would say Dog is like 10, 15 feet tall. And at least maybe more if he stood up straight. But yeah, Dog is big robot pal. Does kind of act like a dog. When you get the gravity gun in Half-Life 2, you get to fiddle with it by basically grabbing disarmed robot mines and playing catch with them as you shunt them dozens of feet away, and Dog goes running after them. And you're just kind of like, oh, big buddy. And then Dog can also summon colossal robot strength to rip metal apart, and you're like, oh, I'd scare you, buddy. But truly, I think Dog, under these criteria, would fit either in a friend or solid adventure and buddy.
I gotta be real with you. That design is hideous.
Damn. Okay.
Awful. I can't. Okay, there are people in the world where if you said this character is like a dog companion on your adventure, and they'd be like, "Aw," and then you'd turn to me and go like, "They're like a dog," and I'm like, "Absolutely not, nowhere near me, please."
Okay, I can understand. I have.
I don't know if the thing has the capability of slobber, but I could believe it and want nothing to do with it. I would get tetanus if it tried.
Man.
Oh no! I will be kind and say sorry, not my vibe. But when I was initially shown this, I was like, oh no.
Just get this shit out of here.
Raffi, sounds like we need to unionize and take over the stream. This is unacceptable.
Right?
No, I've continued to genuinely, because I have forgotten to write a note for myself, reinstate your mod powers, Ruben, so you remain powerless.
No. I've been demoted to just underling.
I will genuinely remember at some point when because I only remember while I'm live, and while I'm live, I'm spinning too many plates to see if I can get it working. But you'll have to remind me at a point where I'm not like streaming, and I will remember to reinstate. But for now,
I like this underdog status. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's funnier this way.
going from low tier to high tier, we have the one and only Dorothy from Big O. I'm so glad that somebody said anything from Big O in the lineup. The mech of Big O is like the only mech I have ever been like, that's a cool ass mech. Love him. Excellent. 10 out of 10. And Dorothy is just as good. I don't know if this is an anime that either of you have seen.
Never heard of Big O in my entire life, but she looks like she could shoot someone. I'm good with it.
Yeah, no, love her makeup, love the just programmed to be tired, kind of like a Wednesday Addams vibe.
It is very Wednesday Addams in her design. Dorothy Wainwright, I think, is her surname.
Also, the themes, the opening song,
Yes.
which is great.
Big O sucks. I love how it looks. I really, it's such a strange show because it came out at a time where the Sunrise, who I think Sunrise has done a ton of very, very big name anime since, but it came out at a time where there was big hunger for mech shows, and clearly they wanted to kind of do a film noir kind of thing and were unsure how to square that circle. So initially, Big O is a monster of the week kaiju fighting thing, and it's like fine. And then over time, it becomes wait, why does this one very dapper gentleman who happens currently to be a negotiator but doesn't really remember his past, what was that about actually? And it becomes an entirely elaborate narrative about children who are raised as child soldiers, have been biolinked to mechs to go fight things, have been made to forget this, and so has everybody else, but the mechs are still around, and it just so happens that the main character has managed to go and find his. And hey, giant mechs are really powerful, so there are villains that want to try and get inside them. Leading to...
God damn, it's just like Halo.
Yeah, well, there's a you know how in a lot of early animes they have the kind of like animation sequence that is usually the power-up sequence that they use every episode for like big animation budget, but it also pads the runtime, like your Sailor Moon transformation and that. They have that kind of deal in this, where, you know, sticks the ignition key and the robot powers up, whole sequence. It displays cast in the name of God, ye not guilty, and does all that, and it's like, oh, that means nothing, that's just cool English words in an anime. Somebody decides to steal one of these robots, and it does that whole animation up to that, and then it just goes, ye guilty, and a bunch of like wires emerge from the cockpit, pull this man screaming into the cockpit, and you never see him again.
Oh, that is cool.
Anime fucking rules, actually. And she's just like the only human-sized android in setting, is entirely po-faced out the entire thing, and is an expert martial artist and kicks the shit out of so many goons. She's great.
Sounds like a BBB. Sounds like a
Ooh.
BBB bad
Yeah,
bitch
yeah,
bot.
yeah. No, she's definitely a bad bitch bot for sure. Adore her. She
That's a
walked so
command, by the way.
TB could run.
Oh shit. That's I mean, what's the polygon situation for her?
Oh, I don't think a single cheek is seen.
Fair enough.
Cheekless.
Damn.
She sure fucking did. Yes. I'm glad you know. You agree. Absolutely, absolutely. No, that's definitely. I definitely need to rewatch that, or at least find the episode that I remember of this. Just kind of like series villain getting owned so hard he's entirely removed from the narrative, and show it to you both because it's fucking cool. We have the Dragon Zord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Submitted by the one and only James D'Amato. I think it's telling that when I tried to find a picture of this thing, because he used a GIF and I can't use that. When I tried to find a picture of this thing, all that came up were toys, not his presence in the show.
Looks like a toy.
Yes.
It's in stores now.
I guess it's a very indicative of this particular, and I mean Transformers are this too, where it's kind of like the toy line exists, if not in tandem, as the primary function of the TV show, and never has a giant robot been more specifically created for the existence of making a toy than the fucking Dragon Zord. Did I own one? Sure as fuck did.
Flip the tail to open a chest compartment. Unleash the laser beam.
God, I had a lot of those, like the individual Zords combined to the huge Zord folding and combining kits. I had about 3 or so of those as a kid, which must have been actually pretty expensive at the time. I think my parents were very kind to me about those. Unfortunately, I did not keep them as I grew older, and those things are worth a fucking bomb now, so...
Yeah.
Who knew? Who was to know?
I wish I still had my Bionicles.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think this thing is a cool toy and a bad robot.
Yeah, it's pretty goofy. It's very ornamental. It looks like it can't move.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, I think the like, you know, when they need to actually animate it, and this is before that they had CGs for all the mechs, so it was just a guy in a suit shot to make them look huge. I don't think the range of movement in this thing was particularly good. Had a proper, like, waddling speed of 0 miles an hour.
You know this thing is going for tail attacks, and how can it does it have to lift one leg and then pivot on the other leg and like hop? Or I don't understand.
They have to put they have to put that actor on a lazy Susan and spin the motherfucker around. That. As Captain, you've missed my general verdict is great toy, shitty robot. But I am not a mech fan, unfortunately, so that was never going to be too strong in my heart. Clearly, the only good Zord of that period of time was the Triceratops, because Billy the Blue Ranger was in it, and he was the best one. The fact that the actor was gay as well was not necessarily a thing that I knew as a child. Or maybe I did know and it just kind of like the essence radiated. But icon.
You knew. As I said, you've been new.
Perfectly entitled to my wrong opinion. That's fine. It's just not my vibe. It doesn't need a makeover. It's just not my vibe.
It's their birthday, therefore it is a correct opinion. as soon as this birthday is over, that
opinion fades away.
Yeah.
So, friend of the show, Joe / at Plothole on Twitter. How did he manage to get such a banging Twitter name?
Right? I like the fact that Joe is not a big, Joe is not a Twitter magnate or anything, so I mean, maybe he got in there early and just sat on it for a while. I don't know.
But friend of the show, Joe, is a big Friday Night Funkin' person.
Yup.
And I respect that. As a rhythm game, mechanically, Friday Night Funkin' is very much not what I like about rhythm games, but I do appreciate the community of people who are making new music and new step charts and deep lore for the people that care about deep lore, I suppose. I've paused the music because there was specifically a song linked that is apparently this character's song, and so that is yeah, it's pretty much required for context here, I think. So give me a second to go dig that up, because I look at this and be like, sure, a Sonic OC, I understand. Nothing about this design is making me go like, oh my god! But the song is pretty powerful. Okay, so specifically, the description of this character is Furnace, the coal-powered Sonic killer from Sonic.exe creepypasta Friday Night Funkin' mod, all one sentence.
Wow, that's
Which is such a specific coalescence of fandoms.
Knowing that this is from a creepypasta is endearing me to this character. And that is the Sonic killer. Hold on. Okay, its nose is just a spike, right? I briefly almost kind of misread the silhouette of it as it being like a tube that smoke could come out of, which would be incredibly
Oh my
funny,
god, if it was
but-
like in like a smokestack, that would be really cool. I would like that. So-
coal-powered Sonic, not very efficient, I'd imagine.
I mean, this art is, I think, better than the sprite in the game, but they do a pretty good job at making it look like a Genesis sprite and does the thing. But yeah, this is a cool EDM remix of like the Metal Sonic like theme. But hey, maybe a solid rival fight in the listings. I think it's too edgy 3me, but
You know what? This would be the perfect character for a way too long Newgrounds like sprite fight video.
oh, that is very much what the boss battle fucking looks like in this video. It is like peak Super Mario Brothers Z. Zed.
2003 as Madness video.
Yeah. Big energy
what
of
are
that.
stick figures doing to each other. Yeah, I think this is an easy, a worthy rival.
I would fight this robot happily. And oh, Serona, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. We are in the middle of robot rating. We're making our way through. We're making our way through at steady speed. We now have point redeems for sound effects, and for this one stream only. Like that, hell yeah! Thank you very much. And for this stream only, once a minute redeem for me to go finish on some of these cans of cider. Thank you very much.
Doing my best. Listen, the more of those take a drinks you press folks, the more are gonna slide into I'm looking respectfully. Caster keeps the mask on 24/7. This is the one time. Break that down. Get that get that parasocial reality in. We need to know who is haunting their thoughts in the dead of night.
Okay, enough of this Friday Night Funkin' song. It is a lot. Hey, there we go. But we move on to another Robo.
Is this from what is it? Robo Arena, the GameCube one.
Custom Robo,
Arena.
yes, indeed.
Custom
It
Robo,
is
there we
indeed.
go.
It is indeed a custom Robo. The custom Robo games are very long form. Like none of them are short, and a lot of them are kind of repetitive because of just the fact that it's just robot battling. Excuse me. At length, but some of the designs are really, really cool. So in the we've kind of discussed previously about kind of like, one of the things that I specifically kind of keep an eye on in terms of what I do and don't like about robot designs is size. Love a robot that is human sized or smaller. Level of over designedness is
It's
also a
pretty
factor.
high.
Yeah, I do not like a design that is too busy. As a miniature painter hobbyist, sculpts that decides to add in too many designs.
Also, this robot, this mech, just carrying around like a speed gun. You know, he's out there at the billboard, copping.
Yeah, there is a lot going on this fella right here, and it makes it very, very difficult to see what's going. You know, what is it Coco Chanel that gave the style advice? Is like, before you leave the house, remove 3 things. I think there are at least 3 bits of detail I could remove from this robot, and then I would be delighted. You know, this may be a solid adventuring buddy, but I think they need to go home and change. There is too much going on here.
I will say, I am personally inclined towards weapons being integrated into the body rather than like I'm a robot and I hold this gun. Unless it is justified by like, oh, I, can also, like if those spikes on the back were like swords that it could pull out, then I would be like, oh, okay, that justifies a lot more of this. But
So, as I understand, those spikes on the back are essentially drone bombs you can fire. So each custom robo has its body, the head and body. I think the legs can be changed out, the left and right arm, and the backpack. And the backpack are the bombs you can drop. So technically, you can have an arm that has the gun or sword or whatever inside it, rather than it holding a gun. But I think it's supposed to suggest that it's like interchangeable. But yeah, unfortunately, even though this is a tiny battle friend, I think this is gonna go in the needs a makeover category for me.
Yeah. Yeah, we could have made them look like anything, and we made them look like this.
There are some more custom robos in the lineup. The person that suggested this one suggested a number of others, and we'll be getting to them. Some are better than others, but
we may get a hit. We'll find out, folks.
custom robo is ripe for a gacha game. I mean, I would love. Like in the same way that there's like a Japanese Medabots gacha game that has had crossovers with Battle Network. So there are Battle Network, there are Medabots that look like Battle Network characters, and they are sick. They are so cool. It would feasibly be possible to open up the game in like BlueStacks and extract those models, because I would run around them in fucking VR chat or 3D print them motherfuckers.
That is such a good idea.
I don't know. I wouldn't play the gacha game. I can't anyway. It's Japanese only. But yeah, those things are cool. I would love a Medabots custom robo crossover. Both of those are very dead franchises as far as the West is concerned, so that would never happen. But a robot can dream. Oh, you see some robots here that you know and love. How do you feel about the rankings so far, Serena? How do you feel about the rankings as we move on to our next lineup? We have... Base got a good one. Base did get a very good alternate design. We have Inspector Gadget, who is not a fucking robot.
Disqualified.
Inspector Gadget is very much a cyborg.
Go Gadget home.
It would be like... It's so close to ticking some boxes. We technically have a detective. We technically have a cyborg detective. Inspector Gadget could definitely get it though. I mean, all of them good aside from Starscream deserves to be put in the bad comedy category. I don't have a bad comedy category. I put in the rankings before. Some of these tier list people make new tier lists as we go, and I'm like, I don't have the fucking time nor energy. I managed to get this to fit on my screen just barely. We're keeping it with this. But the live action Inspector Gadget, maybe. Yeah, there was like an early to mid 2000s Disney live action Inspector Gadget. It's not very good, but they make the main character pretty handsome.
Jesus Christ, I just typed live into Google and the autofill suggestion was Live and Learn Crush 40. I feel awful.
Google knows what you want.
No!
He might not be the best to look at, but he has good personality, he's witty, and quote-unquote, those attachments.
The CIA could not get that information out of me. Like, you're brave. You're very brave.
No. I understand the theory. I understand the theory, Sheila. But I'm not buying. I would have to swipe left.
Go Gadget.
Hey, you know what? That's more a gadget for Sheila. So where on the ranking is this guy going? I guess just starting on my vibe.
Yeah, it would have to be not my vibe. They're not quite. Also, 100% not a robot, and that's what this list is based on. True. So we're gonna have to put it in not my vibe.
Just disqualify.
Yeah.
But, choice is yours. It's your birthday.
I would say needs a makeover only because he needs to be yassified.
If they go through full cyberization, we'll talk.
Exactly. Come back later.
Where do we put in robots? You got some strong ones. You had a whole week to do that, Mr. Gooseberry. You've missed the boat. Unfortunately, because of the way the tier list works, I can't put in new images after I make it, so I do not have the capacity to add more. I think somebody you can mention it, and we can very quickly put in what tier it is. Somebody mentioned Wally, who goes in R, a friend category. So that would be that we can quick sort like the Jackbox game.
Did anyone submit anything from Zone of the Enders?
No, nobody submitted Jehati.
I have failed you and myself.
Hmm.
I'm so sorry.
Al Tyson, don't know who that is. Googling.
Ooh. Oh, ooh, that's chunky.
They are very chunky. We're in mech category here, so it's kind of like.
Caster is not a friend and ally to mechs generally.
Yeah, this is like, it's a lot, but it's a lot on the side of tasteful. Looking at this robot, if it had any more clutter on it, I'd be like, nah, needs to go get changed. But as it stands, with the red as well, red, very, very bold color, I enjoy that. This may be, if we manage to kind of move some of the armor to snatch the waist a little bit, give it a bit more of a silhouette, make it a little less blocky, this could be in bad bitch tier. As it stands, solid adventuring buddy. Now.
Okay.
It's cluttered in universe and not supposed to function on top of being too top heavy. I see it. This makes sense.
Okay, we got a big one to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about size.
I mean, our friend is not enough.
Yeah, let's unpack.
Iron Giant is more than a friend, but is also. I mean, I've played tabletop RPGs where you can have pacifist characters who can still contribute to the narrative. Thank you for the regular water hydrate. We need to keep the balance here.
Oh damn! Fucking look at he got got.
Yeah. Yes. I've played tabletop RPGs where you can have a pacifist character and still have them engaging in the narrative and contribute to pushing the story forward. So, solid adventuring buddy. Iron Giant would go through heaven and earth to help you out of a jam if it meant saving the day. Is that a TOS violation? I see. Well, it's a good thing it is not appearing in the stream text, and it is not not going to be around after today's stream, so I'm not sweating about it too hard. If this stream happens to vanish from the ether and then nobody else gets to see the tier list, then there's a special present just for you all. Anyway.
So I would like to, I'm taking your SAB, your solid adventuring buddy, but I think together with Rafi, I'm pretty confident Rafi's here to back you up. I would personally upgrade it to I'm looking respectfully. Okay, no then. Okay.
Very barrel-chested. I understand.
He's Vara.
Love a broad man, but unfortunately, size difference is not a personal kink of mine.
I just can't summon myself to think of anything other than being like, I want to give him a hug. Poor guy.
He's great.
True.
I don't know how I don't know how I feel about him being present in multiverses as a fighting game character. That seems kind of antithetical to the premise of the person. Like a lot.
Nintendo never should have put Ridley in Smash Bros. They just opened the gate to any big character getting in that. And
It's not even. It's not even that. It's just for the yeah. I loved the memes of Too Big for Brawl. That was so good. And then when that eventually then stopped being true. Sheila put in easy. I don't know who this woman is, but I love. She feels like Alia in Mega Man X. Or Rise in Persona 4, like the comms character who's given you. She's a secretary robot. Sure, cool, makes sense. if she's given me the intel out in the field, I love her taste in color scheme. While I am much more of a cyan rather than a teal kind of person, black and teal, excellent combo. Love the earpiece. As somebody who likes to also run a stylish earpiece as part of my ensemble, I respect the hustle. And she will sometimes turn into a Kamen Rider to help.
Sick.
Here we go.
Bad bitch bots territory. Here we go.
Yeah, no question.
She out here making moves. She's got the perfectly straight front bang. Doesn't care. She pulls it off immaculately. So many people can't. They just look like Edna Mode from Incredibles, but she makes it work.
You're right.
Nonchalantly going like booster mode, engage, and then just tear the villains apart.
Yeah, she looks like somebody who has like a Gauss cannon in her torso.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that is the energy it brings, good. If it's just like, oh, teehee, time to be secretarial, then I'm like, okay, you can do more. But yes, if she is going out there with the big guns too, then let's do it.
Yeah, she turns. She like by day, she turns into Kamen Rider. By night, she can take down an entire Yakuza office with a hole puncher. Secretary duties.
I'm in.
Next, we have another custom robo, and I like this one a lot better, a lot more classic. I do believe this is either from the N64 or DS era, so the design has to be pared back a little, but I'm loving the proper vaporwave low poly energy.
He looks like a mech that needs to be picked up from school.
It does read as being 6 inches tall. I could pick it up and just, call this thing empty. And just throw it all the way down. It would come back and then stab a needle into my ankle. But
a funny thing about the kind of I'm putting him on top of my monitor at the office to show people I'm quirky.
I am programming it to do every Fortnite dance.
I think this is. I was gonna put in solid adventuring, but I'll explain why. It's not the tier I'm gonna give it. So the entire premise of Custom Robo, they are action figure sized, but they were built specifically for doing dangerous and heavy labor too difficult for humans to do. So you use custom robos to fight fires, do excavation, deep sea exploration. They have strength 50 times their size, and you control them via neural link. And then it just so happened that all the 10-year-olds figure that they're actually really cool to fight with too, even though they genuinely easily could kill a person if they tried. And the game sort of acknowledges this and sort of doesn't, and I find that very funny. So I like the idea of rolling up on a difficult adventure with something that is literally 6 inches high, and then it just physically destroys every single entity in the dungeon. That would be very funny to me.
When
but
someone rolls like a halfling monk.
Yeah, very much that energy, but even smaller. I guess it would be the fairy archetype in D&D, where they're genuinely Tinkerbell size. It's that baby wants power.
That's the first time I've heard something about D&D that made me go oh, that sounds fun. I hadn't heard of that.
They only introduced that character species relatively recently, and to be honest, as though that and Warforged would be the only two species I would play in D&D. But yeah, I think the chat and you guys have convinced me that our friend category is for this. Strap some artillery on this bad boy, solid adventuring buddy. But as it stands, off duty, they are our friend.
Yeah, this is I gotta pull a string in his back before he can murder everything, and even then he comes back with a little squirrel giblet attached to its top, fin, and I'm just oh, buddy, he did it.
What would be the phrases it said after you pulled the cord?
Did I do? Oh, right. I just imagine the E102 Omega, from Sonic Heroes, where it's kill, kill.
Yeah, God, for real.
Anyway, moving on. We have Johnny 5. Terrible robot. Hate it. Hate that design. Creepy bastard. Awful.
It is kind of upsetting.
Okay, we're skipping over that one. Wow.
Nope.
Just had the layup and the spike.
Emo!
Kibo from Danganronpa V3.
Oh man, how much to say about Kibo without dropping spoilers? Man,
Kibo is a very interesting character.
Yes.
The character that they give him for the majority of the narrative gets a bit exhausting. You can tell what the writers were trying to say by having a character complain about something be robophobic, and this reflects negatively on the character writer.
It does indeed.
The exchange that he has with Kokichi about like, do robots have dicks is very entertaining though.
Is that an admission for the I am looking respectfully category?
No, absolutely not. Kibo is a friend.
Kibo is very much a friend.
Absolutely, I think absolutely goes into awe a friend.
Yeah, Kibo is a good friend with many, 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 many more friends.
Many more friends. Doesn't Kibo at one point go like, yeah, robots don't really have a gender, so you can use he, him pronouns, but I identify as non-binary or something?
And then the other characters go, what is that? You're so crazy. And I sigh heavily. The Danganronpa series is very, 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 very good at murder mystery writing and shit at everything else. Although I liked the ending of DRV3, I think I might be one of the few characters. We were having a discussion about that the other day, Rafi, and we were like, yeah, that ending's really good, and the reason why it made people upset is also why it's really good. Anyway, moving on before we enter spoiler territory.
Agreed.
We have Legion from, I think, Mass Effect 2.
Yes.
Design is scary. I do not
Fucking
like this
great.
design at all.
Can I gush about
Okay, please sell me on Legion.
Context. In Mass Effect, you have a race of sort of like synthetic consciousness called the Geth. They were built specifically for slave labor by another species. They freed themselves, gained sentience, and then, did a war of independence against their makers. Legion is kind of like a mobile platform carrying about like 400 consciousness inside of them. And every time they make a decision, they have to come to a consensus with each other. So everything they do, every decision they make has to be like a majority decision. And they respect the main character, Commander Shepard, because of, their tenacity and kind of like determination despite overwhelming odds. So it's like this really interesting glimpse into robot consciousness and culture, the development of culture, and how it views religion specifically. So yeah, Legion, fucking great. Also, its voice, amazing.
Hold on.
Having not played Mass Effect, I look at Legion and echo the first half of Nathan's statement of like, scary. But I'm like, scary but cool.
Scary but very cool, and it's this is
and cool.
this is one of the I also love when it's like, I do have a piece of your armor, no further questions. Oh,
yes.
right.
That's like, it literally goes to find you like die in the first opening scene of Mass Effect 2 and you get rebuilt, and Legion goes to find your corpse, gets a piece of your armor that you were wearing and puts it like over its chest, and you confront it about this, and it's like, why are you wearing a piece of my armor? And it like has a very shy silence and replies, there was a hole there. And that's it. It was cute. It's cute.
Okay. Because initially I was kind of like, this just seems like a gritty Xbox PS3 era, like first-person shooter robot. I'm not enamored with this design at all. But the content, especially since Is the gun permanently attached to the left arm, or are they just carrying the right? Oh, well, yeah. Friend, you're allowed to rebuild yourself. You don't have to live like this. But with the context of the backstory of the character, solid adventuring buddy. I don't think that they are maybe you know, if they were willing to let themselves enter a body that they all could enjoy in peacetime, then we might enter perfect battle buddy territory. Definitely, I don't think they would want to be in the bad bitch bots category, and I am not looking respectfully.
What would you, without my addition, what would you give him?
I would have had to go into like sorry not my vibe, or they might have even been a worthy rival. I couldn't tell whether they were a hero or a villain in the design, and I get why in the kind of narrative of the wider piece. That makes sense. But yeah. Solid adventuring buddy. We have Unnamed Robot for Machinarium, a game I have not played, but it is tiny and cute.
Oh yeah, I played this game a while back. Charming little friend.
Is there anything I should know about our charming little friend?
A little bumbling, I guess. I don't know if. Yeah, you go ahead, Ruben.
Just wants to save its little robot girlfriend and will do anything to get there. Learns how to play like street didgeridoo.
True.
Huh? Wow.
Yeah. The Machinarium is a really wonderful game. I think you'd really love it because it's kind of like robo silly and Disney like.
I'm usually less one for silly, but everybody, considering it's a game that I've seen before, but like nobody's really like talked about ever until literally this week, and then it's been in the context of like this game's great. So this robot is cute. So like okay.
If you got one of the first, one of the very early Humble bundles, you probably got this game.
Okay, noted. But okay. It seems pretty firmly our friend category. I don't think they're going to be doing any adventuring. Oh, I put on new jams, but I do believe this is a character that requires specific music upon request, because we do have, I believe, Mechasonic.
Jeez, oh my god.
Requested by Captain
More
Hurricane.
Sonics.
I think there are at least 4.
Yeah, let's go.
I might have cut one. I might have cut one for time. We have Metal Sonic.
Oh, hold on. Captain Hurricane saying wrong Mechasonic. Hold on.
Oh.
Was this submitted by Captain
Hurricane? This might be a different person. This might be one of the other Mechasonics that was submitted.
Here's the problem. This is Mechasonic Mark II.
Man, who gives a shit? They are the same Sonic.
I am looking at.
Better music for it. I see. Oh, so you gave me the Stardust Speedway for the kind of regular Metal Sonic, which I recognize. I can't remember if Metal Sonic has made its way into the listing. It has. But I think this is a different Metal Sonic Mecha Sonic that somebody submitted. This isn't one of Captain Hurricane's. But yeah, including the Sonic.exe creepypasta, there are 4 Metal Sonics across this robot listing, which I think says a lot.
People love Sonic. But honestly, I think Mecha Sonic not as interesting as Furnace.
Interesting. I mean, I quite like the silhouette of this. I enjoy. It's not fashionable, but I really like how they've gone with the kind of like spindlier legs to give it a kind of it's a tall and lean silhouette, and then you realize it's built like a brick shithouse. It's like, oh, that's an interesting balance. This would be kind of like it reminds me specifically of the period of time where like spray-on jeans and leggings paired with like oversized puffer jackets were in, especially in kind of like Japanese and South Korean street fashion. That was really popular for a while, and this feels like a pixel art version of that a good 15-20 years before it actually became street fashion. This robot is on the cutting edge of fashion, IMO. But hey, Sunfish, well, welcome, and thank you very much. I was also going to wish you a happy birthday, and that's not how that works. Your birthday is now also on January 16th, I have decided.
Happy birthday, Sunfish.
Yeah, Nathan almost told the waiter, thanks, I hope you enjoy your food too.
Enjoy the movie, thanks.
I gotta say, the Mecha Sonic's chest area, I'm having a hard time reading that. I kind of don't know.
I do believe it's the chest plate being so large it pushes forward, obscuring the back arm.
Yes.
But I guess it's one of those things that carries in motion. I'm willing to, unless there is a call for it being worse. It trying to be a style icon puts it in bad bitch bots territory. Cutting edge before it knew it was cutting edge.
Hey, I wouldn't put it that high, but it's your birthday, not mine.
Fair enough. Because I don't think I would be excited enough to fight it. But it's stylish enough to be my vibe at least a little bit. So we're okay. If it could sit in a halfway house between a worthy rival and bad bitch bots, it would be there. But I think it edges just into. If we get too many fashionable blue robots, it might have to drop a tier to worthy rival. We'll see.
It might get squeezed out. I understand.
Next up, we have the classic. Metabee in the building.
21st century.
Ugh, God, that anime is so good. just genuinely, like the range of animators that worked on it and things as well, like the genuine sakuga that show has sometimes. It kind of like blows my mind. And a lot of the video games are really good, but only like 2 of them were ever released in English. The Medabots for GBA is like the only English one that is the proper RPG and is genuinely worth playing. Ball's hard. It plays like Pokemon in that you get into trainer battles and wild encounters, but because of the rules of Medabots mean that if you win, you gain a part from the people that you beat, but this also applies to you. So if you lose, you can lose a part. This can be a part, and it has to be a part from your team. So imagine if you were playing like Pokemon and you lost to a trainer, and instead of losing money, it just stole one of the moves from your Pokemon. And then if you didn't... Rough. And if you didn't have a move to replace it, meaning that you don't have a complete functional team, it's an immediate game over.
Yeah.
Early game of those games, fucking brutal. You can lose no matches. But they're good. They're genuinely really good, but really mean. But I recommend them. A little too long to play is like on stream. It might be one where I go and show off like the first couple hours of the GBA game on stream for people's curiosity, but it's too long of a game to want to let's play it. But strongly recommended. Naturally, Perfect Battle Buddy. Easy.
Can you explain though what's going on with it looks like cannons on its head? That's
yes.
Kind of like antenna also.
It's designed to look like it's designed to look like beetle. So
okay.
it has beetle
what
horns.
What do they do?
Oh, they genuinely fire missiles.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there a missile reserve in there? No. Can it fire missiles? Absolutely. Where do these robots keep ammo? Don't think about it, friend.
Man,
I understand.
You mentioning the what was it, like one of the gacha games and saying like, oh yeah, the Metabot MMBM crossover. Like I'm looking at Metabee right now. I'm like, yeah, this is a Navi.
There's even a Medabots and Digimon crossover. They 2 years ago released essentially Digimon Go, but it uses like a smartwatch to do it. And to change what Digimon you have, you genuinely insert like a battle chip looking thing. It's honestly really fucking cool, and I wish I had one, but they're quite expensive and you'd have to import them. But they for like April Fools released a Medabots one. Just being like, surprise, these aren't Digimon. And I'm like, no, this needs to be a thing you regularly release. Not jokes, for real, please.
Give me the coin that goes into their back, please.
Very much the how Yakuza Like a Dragon got made is because for one April Fool's, Team Yakuza, Team Like a Dragon or whatever, released like an April Fool's video of haha, it's Yakuza, but it's a turn-based battle, and then everyone went, yes, we love this, and then they made it for real. And Like a Dragon is genuinely one of the best games in the series, so they knew what they were doing.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Cannot wait for Yakuza 8.
So soon. I just want my lads again. All of them were very good.
They're all boyfriends.
They are all boyfriends. How did they decide to go and give an entire cast of 8 characters and make them all incredibly hot?
I know. Even the mage.
Even the mage, they're all. Well, I mean, you know, he is a very famous actor outside of the role in the thing, so there's a reason why he's very handsome. But yes, we have music for original Metal Sonic.
I should probably I can be around for like this one and maybe one more after that. But then I gotta bounce.
No problem at all. Thank you for hanging with us.
Totally.
I'm the same actually.
That's fine. No problem at all. I can knock through the rest of these relatively swiftly. Thank you for joining us. I'll be able to hold up the fort without y'all, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, OG Metal Sonic
is the best
Metal
Metal Sonic.
Solid design. The turbine in the chest, very solid choice. Very clever. Good use of design space for it.
A solid, worthy rival tier to kind of not to understate the importance of this character and what has
exceptionally worthy
and what it has done for just the Sonic fandom literally ever since.
I got my partner a Sonic art collection art book ranging from 1991 to 2006. And 2016 even, and we browsed through it, and the concept, I had never seen Metal Sonic before, and the concept art for Metal Sonic is so cute but so cool at the same time.
They really managed it. Yeah.
This is the peak design. This is
peak exactly 90s design, absolutely.
Exactly what it was meant to do.
Speaking of designs that do exactly what they were meant to do, we have Metasonic X. Bad Bits Bots territory. No other questions. Easy, solved. One and done. One shot, one kill.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah. It's just, you got a gender right here, baby. Like, what?
Genuinely, I think a lot of people played Undertale and learned a lot of things about themselves across that game for the wide variety of characters. But I very much did look at Metatonic X and go, oh, gender. So
yeah, no, for real. I mean, certainly one of the closer things that I can get that don't have a beak.
We have, following this, yes, we have reminding myself of the name Pathfinder.
Yeah. Hello, friend.
Explain.
So, Pathfinder was like a... I'm not too familiar with the lore, but used to be like a traffic robot, then suddenly jolted sort of a form of sentience through watching detective shows, became a noir detective, solved a major crime, but then got ambushed by a bunch of criminals and was like discarded and inactive for a very long time until a random drop of water caused like short-circuiting in their wiring and reactivated them. And they're just there to have fun in the battle royale of Apex Legends.
Yeah, I was like, and then they're in the like battle royale shooter. Why?
Because there's this really positive influence, you know. They love killing, but they're also like, hey friend, don't worry, next time you'll get me. So
they were previously solving crimes, and then they were like, hey, how about I cause some crimes? And then just decided to...
It's not criminal if it's state sanctioned.
Okay, I'm a little intimidated at them being potentially a solid adventuring buddy. The rate of them actually potentially shooting me is a little too high.
They've got a zip gun in their arm and they can swing very fast.
Yeah. I would say I think I don't get the vibes that they would betray you. If they just wanted wanton violence and crime, I don't think they would bother signing up for the death game. They would just do death.
But maybe maybe we have the first violent friend.
Yeah, honestly, valid.
A friend, but the smiley is like a capital D colon.
A friend.
A friend. Yes.
Oh, no worries, Serena. Have a fantastic evening. Knocking through this as fast as I can. But yeah. We'll see you soon.
I hope. Yeah, have a great time. The stream is very fun so far, and I hope you can take a screenshot of this at the end and post it to your Discord. Or
We'll do.
Excellent. Okay. Mwah. Big kisses, everyone, and happy
Mwah.
birthday.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Vanished into the ether.
Ciao, ciao.
Moving rapidly along, because we're lightning rounding it apparently. Peppercat, very much torn between bad bitch bots only and perfect battle buddy. Very close. Sits very sensibly in either of these categories. We can't have two metabots in Metabots and perfect battle buddy. They would fight. So we can have a Metabots representation in the bad bitch tier. Excellent. I mean, she was one of the few, in at least as far as the anime is concerned, I think was relatively dialogueless. She just had the acrobatic flips and the instant. Hey, this is a character that does electric damage in an environment full of enemies that do that are robots and susceptible to electric damage. She is OP. We have, let me see, let me double check this name. Peregrine from Custom Robo. I assume that this screenshot is actually a number of different parts that have been mapped onto Peregrine, but unfortunately this is in a little bit too much of the bulky territory for me. So this might be in a... I am more on board with this design than the other one in terms of it needing a makeover. So maybe this one is just not my vibe. Maybe if it kind of came with a different gun loadout, I would be more enamored. But I do like the white and gold. Very paladin. Very paladin. Peregrine is a stubby little dude. Not very tall, full and mighty. We have R2-D2. I am not a Star Wars. I am not a Star Wars by any stretch of the imagination. Tough boy, very strong. R2-D2 is the classic, hey, ask a member of the public a robot that they like, and they'll probably say R2-D2. A friend who does a lot of treason, technically. I mean, knowing the kind of person I am, of course, even though I know basically nothing about Star Wars, I know that I like C-3PO more than I like R2-D2. But this is very solidly friend-shaped and friend-heighted. We have, oh my god, this character's name. Ramatra. Ramatra from Overwatch 2, one of the new Overwatch characters. I have only played a little bit of Overwatch. You know why I played Overwatch, chat? I played Overwatch. C-3PO is very much the good cop to R2-D2's bad cop. That makes sense. That tracks. That very, very much tracks, because C-3PO is incredibly neurotic from what I remembered. Genuinely, the only Star Wars movie I've seen through from beginning to end its entirety is Episode 1, and I think that really set the tone for how much I was not a fan of the Star Wars films as a whole. I can only blame that as it being the first Star Wars movie that came out while I was alive. But yes, Ramatra. I played Overwatch back in the day, not because I was enthusiastic about first-person shooters, but because I thought that Lucio was really cool, and I wanted to go get fandom merch of Lucio, but I felt it would be awkward or inappropriate to get fandom merch for a game that I had never played before. So I got Overwatch on PS4, played it for about 3 weeks, and then was like, good. I really like Zenyatta, Genji, and Lucio. and kind of no one else, but that's fine. Also, Genji and Zenyatta are absolutely dating. And that's all the thoughts on Overwatch I ever had. And apparently, now that it's Overwatch 2, which is basically Overwatch 1.5, as people tell me, they've introduced new characters, including this character right here, who I can tell in their design is supposed to be really hot. You know, they're barrel-chested. They've got a mysterious robe. They've given the waist pretty snatched and all that. But I don't see it. Goated opinions, excellent. I don't see it for this guy. I can tell that I'm trying to be pandered to. Like, the designers wanted to make this robot sexy, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not buying it. Mostly because he has trousers that stop at the upper thigh. Why? Why? Tell me, chat. Have you ever decided to go and wear trousers that stop below your waist? Overwatch 2, though I've not played it, seems to be roughly a side grade rather than an upgrade. Fair enough. I don't think I could bring myself to play it. The only, I was mostly Lucio because I could just heal people. I mean, yes, but not at a public event. Yeah, no, this man is running around ostensibly killing people in assless chaps. I think that's like a redundancy. Just chaps. Crotchless mans is. And hey, the art of seductive clothing is wearing clothes that don't expose but accentuate. So, I don't think this man's fit is on point. This man needs a makeover. Also, I do believe that they introduced him into to be the new romantic partner for Zenyatta, and that is illegal and incorrect. No, nuh-uh, not at all. Moving on. We have Ray Mark II from the GameCube custom robo. Now this is a custom robo design. We're taking all the aspects of Gundam. We're taking those Gundam-ass designs that people love, and I am relatively neutral on, and then you scale it down to 6 inches tall, and then suddenly it's sick. Suddenly I'm behind this. Absolutely. I mean, we've got to have rep from the media that is specifically designed to be a perfect battle buddy. Ray Mark II, perfect battle buddy. Easy choice. Robots do wear pants in Overwatch, including Cyborg, so technically he do really only have 2 pant legs. This guy bothers me because he has a human face all in the game about hard robots. Yeah, I guess they've got to give the kind of main character a bit more of an empathizable kind of like eyes situation where everybody else looks a lot more mechanoid. But Ray Mark II, excellent look. I am more used to the Ray Mark III because the custom robo game I played was Custom Robo Arena on the DS, mostly because that's the only custom robo game to have been released in Europe. None of the other games were. It sucks, actually. I would really like to actually properly play Custom Robo GameCube. I've never really properly had the chance, but I should make time to do that in the future. Moving on. We have... this thing isn't called dog, but I do believe it is a dog in nature. It's called Rex. Yeah. No, I'm still of the I do not like robot dogs. Easily sorry, not my vibe. It is a plant robot dog. I get it. I understand the appeal. I do not want a dog. Not at all. Not for me. Do you play as the dog, or does the dog assist you? Is, I guess, an important question. Plant robot that does a little murder. Yeah, no, that tracks. I mean, that carries in the design. The design is really evocative what it is. A character you can play as. Could be good for making sure your plants get enough sun, though. Yeah, in a solar punk setting, this robot would be amazing. This robot would probably be, like, possessed by Plant Man, and then you have to go and do a whole dungeon to go take it out. But not my vibe. Not my adventuring buddy. We have Roly Poly Oly who is a children's cartoon that I have not watched. Character design is very cute. It's a friend. I don't really have much more to say, but it is cute. It reminds me of that, when did the movie Robots come out? Like the DreamWorks movie Robots. ...2005, absolutely. 2004, good guess. No, Google says 2005. This makes me think that it's like a very robot-y design. Like, I guess it's taking the same style inspirations of like that 60s atomic kind of design. Very cute. I don't really have much more to say about it, but glad that they made a cute little robot for children's TV. We have Shodan. I'm gonna be biased, mostly because I played System Shock 2 on stream a little while ago for a Cyberpunk Book Club stream and fucking hated it. I do not like that game at all. It is not fun for me, caster, to play. It is, as I understand, a good game, but not a game designed for me to enjoy. So it is very firmly not my vibe, unfortunately. I think if Shodan had more presence in the early parts of the game, mostly it was like 3 hours of me struggling to fight cyber zombies who were trying to attack me from outside my field of vision, and I was just getting really annoyed and not enjoying the story because I was too busy being attacked by robots. It sucked. I hated it. But Shodan, I think, would be cool in a different or newer piece of media, or if she was more directly involved. If she was like Am from I Know How I Have No Mouth and I'm a Scream, like if we get a lot of her up front and her context and feelings, and that filters in as the primary focus and not necessarily me doing space exploration, then maybe I'd be more into it. Or maybe I just like I Have No Mouth and I'm a Scream, because that game and book are incredibly fucking harrowing, and strongly recommended if you're okay with games that cover very, very heavy topics. We have the fourth robotic Sonic. This is the Silver Sonic, I guess? Give me a sec. Moving on from this one. Whoop. From Scrambled Egg Zone. So this is Silver Sonic, the first robot Sonic. I see. As you can hear, it is the Game Gear Sonic 2. Yeah, I mean, I kind of on Game Gear and Master System. Oh, thank you for the correction. I get the idea of doing lots of like faux Sonics as like rival characters. I do enjoy that over time they kind of branched out into making more robotic versions of the other cast. Robot Knuckles from Sonic Advance and from Sonic R is probably my favorite like robot clone, and then my favorite like Sonic robot in general is like E102 Gamma from Sonic Adventure. Ha, Tails doll, yes, one of the OG video game creepypasta subjects. Very good, very good. But no, E102 Gamma is definitely my favorite Sonic robot by far. Probably the best story in Sonic Adventure. But that's not who we're talking about here today. I must admit I'm a little bit Robot Sonic fatigued. They do have their strengths and weaknesses. But at this point I'm like, what does this one offer me in my feeling that like Metal Sonic doesn't already have like in the bag? And I guess the answer is that it's silver. Maybe that has a cool Cyclops visor. But I think if these were in a race, we don't quite hit worthy rival tier. I don't think this one isn't menacing enough. Maybe he's just a friend. He doesn't look very threatening, to be honest. But I think this is probably a sorry, not my vibe. I think actually, if you took Metal Sonic and then gave him the Cyclops visor from this Silver Sonic, badass bitch bots. Perfect, but not quite there. Not quite there. We're almost near the end. We have Soundwave specifically from Transformers Prime. Now, this is the second of 3 Transformers robots that appeared in listing. Interestingly enough, I was sort of aware of Soundwave prior to this, and I was like, oh, it turns into a boombox. That's pretty fucking cool. I'm into that. And then this one super doesn't. I think it turns into a stealth jet, and I was like, that's unfortunate. I like the camp of it turning into just a boombox in the year of our Lord 2023. Like, they just didn't change that design, but clearly they had to, because modern children are not going to know what a boombox is. But I enjoy how genuinely creepy this design is. I've seen some of the other Transformers Prime's designs, and they look like regular Transformers, but like sleeker. But the way that they designed this one, where his limb length is like all over the place, and with like the big kind of like dramatic mecha Y2K heels, that's kind of a bad bitch move. This would be worthy rival, I guess, because they're clearly supposed to be evil, and I think that would be an interesting fight. But I enjoy the fashion. I'm personally biased towards the Prime design since that was my introduction to the franchise. I wouldn't mind watching an episode or two that would explain this character to me, because apparently people enjoy this version of Soundwave, or just enjoy Soundwave the most across all the I was about to say Metroid Prime, Transformers Prime characters, and some of the people who have highlighted this robot have been incredibly normal about him. I wouldn't put it in the I'm looking respectfully tier, to be honest with you, but I understand it. I understand it. We have, this is the lead singer from Steam Powered Giraffe, whose name I do not know, The Spine, which I see it. I was, my kind of musical history didn't really preclude itself towards like the steampunk fandom. Never really kind of like properly got into that like era of like, I guess we'd call it old-time revival. Steam Powered Giraffe is specifically too acoustic and too romantic to be classified as electro swing, but definitely sits within the same era. But I really respect performers that can do elaborate robot makeup and full face paint. I love that. I really adore performers who can do makeup like this, that both incorporates contouring and face shaping and also storytelling, how it's designed. I guess you would also say that there's a lot of the like Piero clown face paint also does this, and I really like that too. I can see why for some people there's that overlap into clown territory that is either a very good or very bad thing, and we won't discuss that. But I definitely respect a person who knows their way around silver face paint. And clearly, he's a very handsome member of there's a reason why he's a lead member of the band for a reason. So I am very willing to kind of put this into I am looking respectfully. Maybe I do actually have to go and give their music a listen. I do know one of their songs, actually, because a very good friend of mine introduced it to me. I think it's called Honeybee. Very, very romantic. Very, very kind of cozy acoustic song. Like, I can't really picture this person performing, but it's very good. I appreciate it. Honeybee by Steam Powered Giraffe. Anyway, we have a Gundam design. I think the only Gundam design in the listing. This is, if I can recall correctly, Turn A Gundam, called as such because the A is like upside down or whatever. Yes, Maru did submit this one. Maru also was one of the 2 people that submitted that also submitted Soundwave, the Prime Soundwave. Yeah, I mean a lot. I will fully admit, almost all Gundams look the same to me. I don't go here, so a lot of them obviously have to share the same design aesthetic because they all come from the same world, but a lot of them look like recolors to me. This one looks really different because, as I understand, this one was specifically designed by the designer of like Tron. And this particular artwork that was done by the artist, because I think the other visual representations of Turner Gundam designed this character a bit differently, but I like this incarnation of it. I really like the shape language of it. I think it manages to say Gundam without looking like every other Gundam I've seen. I dig that. I appreciate the fact that they decided to outsource the design to outside of their regular designers. I think it looks cool. Genuinely think it looks cool. I don't know its battle capabilities. Would I want to fight alongside it? The other thing I know about Gundam is that it's all Gundam like shows are about talking about how war is hell and nobody should be involved in it, but everybody's like, wow, cool robot. So if I was adventuring with this buddy, me dying in a very tragic way would be quite likely. It's probably a good guy, but I would fight this. I would fight this robot. In the same way that in the War is Hell, but damn giant robots are cool. For sure. In the same way that, like, at the start of Nier Automata, you just run around the facility and fight like an Engels class robot, which is basically like an entire oil derrick turned into a mech, and it fights you with gigantic, like, saw blades. Or excavator, like, scoops. That thing's sick. That fight is pretty cool, where you're just a regular-sized human fighting the giant robot. I'd fight this guy. If you fought the robot, you'd have to get a really poignant death that said something about how war was hell. Yeah, you know? It feels like it would be a cool boss fight that I would potentially lose, but it'd be sick, so that's alright. I have no idea if the pilot is a good guy, but I think they would be a villain. They've got to have turn A in the name sometimes. A really pointless one. Just dying because we need some death in the narrative because, hey, war is hell. For sure. Moving on, we have an incarnation of Ultron. There are... of the various Marvel robots, Ultron is definitely not my favorite. Vision is my favorite Marvel robot. If you've ever read the Visions, like the trade where it's Vision mourning the death of his wife being Scarlet Witch, uses his kind of like, I guess, matter fabrication to make an entire family like a 2.5 kids situation. And then they end up going through some tragic losses as well, and it just becomes a very poignant comic about how to handle death in the family. And it's artful, genuinely beautiful. Even if you're not somebody who knows too much about like Marvel comics or superheroes or whatever, it'd be one of those like comics that'd be like, just read it anyway, and I think you would really kind of get something out of it. Ultron, on the other hand, is, hey, I'm you know, this consciousness, this digital consciousness that exists only to be evil and spread my influence. That's not super interesting when it comes to kind of like various incarnations of evil robots and things. I find that a little boring. As I understand, this one is like a noir alcoholic anti-hero incarnation. This is fine. This is okay. This is a much more interesting rendition of the character, I would say. But not necessarily one that I would want to spend a lot of time with. It being noirish would hit some sensibilities in the same way that the detective from Fallout 4 also kind of hits that energy. But while I am interested in telling stories with the detective, I don't know how interested I'd be in telling stories with Noir Ultron. Maybe it'd be a worthy rival. He's definitely an incredibly strong rival. And I guess if you were rocking up with other robots on deck, it would be an interesting conflict on like what robots do and are built for, and the ideals that they would maintain. But not my personal favorite. Definitely not a bad bitch territory. Not that kind of villain. We have gosh, what is the name of this transformer again? I'm gonna have to remind myself. Unicron, which is basically Transformers Galactus, if I understand. Not my vibe. I get it. I get it. This is a Transformer enemy so big that they are big enough to hold the entire world in their hands. This might just be kind of like key art. He's not necessarily that large, but I can, you know, he's a literal planet. Sure, go figure. I get it. But if I'm somebody who's not necessarily super inclined towards mech-sized robots, I don't really know how I'm going to feel that much better about planet-sized robot. That's not doing anything for me. Definitely not a perfect battle buddy. But and as a rival, oh, he's 100% an actual planet. Yeah. I mean, I guess the narrative does a lot to kind of personify him and make him an entity worth fighting for or against. As Orson Welles, the voice of Unicron, says, "I play a toy who eats other toys." Yes. To be honest, that fits astoundingly. As an Orson Welles, I have been paid a very large amount of money to do this very specific thing, was that quote said with like delight or resignation? Because I think you could read that either way. Oh no, I believed it. This makes sense to me, and I can definitely see producers specifically getting Orson Welles for the role and why. But I'm interested to know whether he was enthusiastic about the idea or was just doing it for a paycheck, because it feels like it would be the latter to me. Anyway, either way, not my vibe. We have no idea. Because I think that quote has very. It was his last role before he passed. I see. Because I think this is a Macross robot, also submitted by Maru. But yeah. No, I think also this is Valkyrie from a Macross. There are multiple different Macrosses. Macrossi. I have seen. Have I seen Macross Delta? I've seen a handful of episodes from Macross Delta, I think. Let me see if I can. It was very much focused on. Yeah. No, Macross Delta is the one that I've seen, and it was okay. I mean, I understand. I think the idea of pop stars singing songs to motivate the military of Earth to shoot gun real good to be, I think, pretty cool as a premise. And there's probably a lot to be said about the nature of being commodified as a performer to encourage something that you might not personally support. But I don't think, at least not Macross Delta as much as I watched, is particularly interested in having that conversation so much as cute girls doing cute things who then also get in mechs. You feel me? I may be way off base here, but I didn't get very far in. I enjoyed the songs that the first couple of episodes gave me and then felt no motivation to actually watch more of the show. As a robot design here, I can tell that it is not a Gundam because there are design factors about this design that are not present in Gundam designs, right? But from a distance, so for example, the view in OBS, I have OBS running in a smaller monitor, so that picture of Valkyrie is smaller than maybe what you're looking at. Generally, the series is less war as hell, and more cultural exchange can stop or even prevent war. Oh, you sing so good that the aliens become stands and don't fight you anymore. I understand. But yeah, looking at this design from that distance is like, that's a Gundam if I squint, and so as a result, I'm like, nah, Turner Gundam looks cooler, but they still look incredibly similar to me. See, also, killing the arts is how you get monotone super soldiers. Right. I mean, you're selling it as a lot more interesting than what those episodes sold it. But then maybe because it was kind of in an era where anime is about girls becoming pop stars and then selling the records in real life was a really popular fad in those kind of seasons of anime. Maybe I need to look at a different series of Macross and that will get me there. But I'm not a fan of this robot. I think it needs to do something more. It needs to do something more. Like this motherfucker. This robot's name is so goddamn long. Give me a second. Its name is Vachu the Black Knight, apparently from a series called the 5-Star Stories, the last mech that Maru submitted. The first one was written in such a way to trick serious military otaku into understanding that they needed to branch out a bit. Well, it was doing its best, I guess. It was definitely it had its very specific goals. I get it. I understand. This is the 5-Star Stories. Yes, it's huge in Japan, apparently. So apparently this design has gone through a whole bunch of different redesigns. Like the original designer keeps revisiting this mech for the various incarnations of it. And I picked this one specifically because actually and genuinely, I adore this robot's design. It is so much less concerned of looking like a Gundam because that is what trope-wise giant robots from Japan are supposed to look like, and it's like divorced itself from that cultural touchstone entirely and become this like black wrought iron fence of a musketeer, a fencer, and it looks sick. I love this a lot. I would be genuinely interested to see what it looks like in motion because it looks like it also would be a bastard to anime. But like, look at them heels. These heels are massive. And this has to be like a giant robot, yeah? So this isn't 6-inch heels. Mamoru Nagano. Hold on, I can actually get the name because Maru did say what the name of the designer was. A lot of these are not intended to be animated. That tracks. Here we go. Mamoru Nagano is the designer for Vachu the Black Knight. Mario specifically says, starting life as a design for the anime Heavy Metal L-Gaim, Mamoru Nagano has never stopped iterating on this design. I love how it hews closer to the knightly motif of FSS Mecha. I do not know what that acronym means. Than most, it has incredible presence. So yes. Oh, FFS 5-Star Stories. Sure, gotcha. That tracks. We got it. But yeah. I mean, this thing not being designed to be animated, this makes sense. But it looks very, very cool. It was, you know, for those who have maybe watched some of the streams in the past and watched me make a Gunpla, I made a Rakusho Medabots. I guess it's a model kit. It's not specifically Gunpla. It's some Kotobuki. It looked cool. It was difficult to make. But I was like, oh, I really wanted to make that because it was a franchise that I really liked a lot, and I don't know anything about mecha, so trying to build a mecha from a franchise I don't really know would feel inappropriate, or like, why would I do that? And there was one mecha or mech design that I saw, Plamo, plastic model, sure. When I say Gunpla, people know what I mean. Hey, this is a linguistics issue, right? I can see why the Gundam company, whoever they might be more persnickety about branding. And I guess, okay, tangent. I can see why people would want to say Plamo and not Gunpla in the same way that we don't want people to say D&D when they mean all tabletop games, and we don't want people to say Warhammer when they mean all miniature wargaming. So I get it. And I don't like it when people say D&D when they mean more than just tabletop games. So I will do my best. Bandai makes other plastic models that get very strict about it. So I will try my best to say Plamo even though that has, I think, a worse feel than Gunpla. But I understand. But anyway, I think it's the main robot from Star Driver is like this super also like a fencer character. It has this gigantic hat with a big feather that comes out of it, huge heels. This is the femboyest mech I have ever fucking seen. The design is great, and I'm like, okay, let's watch the show. Show's boring as fuck. the show really wants to be like Utena, but for boys, and it doesn't stick that landing at all. It's really dry. So I was torn, right? I've seen the model before. I could have potentially bought it at some previous cons, and I looked at it and was like, this design is so good, but I don't like the show at all. And what's the balance of this? Am I buying it because I think the model is cool? If I just buy things because I think the model is cool, that's just kind of filling out my home full of stuff that looks cool, but I don't necessarily adore. What's the balance on this? I guess this is a question that all plastic model plamo people, using the right terminology, have to kind of deal with, or this is just, you know, you buy the robot because it looks cool and you put it in the closet and never look at it, which is apparently how some people handle that, but some people handle the plastic miniature space in a very similar way, so no shade, I understand. But yeah, I like this design. This is a very long listen. Yeah. Didn't mean to call you out specifically, but you know. But this design absolutely in the bad bitch bots territory only. Bad bitch bots only territory. Why did I make an onomatopoeia if I was going to be drinking on this stream? This is a travesty. Your Tower of Gunpla is load bearing. If you make any of them, the house will fall down. Don't you have? Thank you very much. Don't you have a Plamo stream coming up on Saturday this week, Captain? If you remove a box, is your workshop going to collapse? Is it going to concave? We're moving on. We only have 2 left. We're almost done. We have what's the name of this goddamn thing? That's right. Thank you. Yes, the barn will need another kit to take its place. There we go. We have Zana from Code Lyoko, a show I have never watched, or rather, that's not true. That's not true. Back when this was airing on TV, I think it was airing on Fox Kids when I was but a wee program, and I was already on the Battle Network, the Digimon, the Medabots train, right? And they were like, here's this new Canadian show that is about teens jumping in the internet to go and fight a virus. And I'm like, that is exactly what I want from my Saturday morning cartoons, hell yeah. And then I looked at the character designs of this cartoon and was like, this is hideous, absolutely not, no way. I had to do a little bit of research into the show to double check what Zana looked like, because they don't look like anything. This would be the equivalent of like Shodan or like HAL 9000, except they don't really have like an iconic face. They have this symbol that you can see here that is like burned onto the things that it infects, and that's as close as you get to a design for Zana. I get that they're a pretty nebulous villain that you could fight. I think it fits Ultron in the same kind of space. Maybe I would need to know more about the nature that is Zana, but just a malevolent computer program that exists to be the villain of the week, and maybe has no motivations beyond that. It's not very exciting to me. So this may have to be, because I'm not beyond selecting an AI character to be our a worthy rival in this listing, you know. But I think I would have to be sold a bit more. Maybe to see a bit more of this character, to be endeared for it to be a rival. And lastly, finally, after almost 3 hours, we have Zero from Mega Man Zero, who is the meanest of the Mega Mans. The Mega Man Zero games were kind of coming out on the GBA at the same time that the Mega Man Battle Network games were. And I was a huge Battle Network fan, obviously. So I was like, oh, well, if there are more GBA Mega Mans, I'm gonna have to go and try this one out. And oh my god, it's just the most mean-spirited like shooter platformer. Not designed for the people that wanted the action RPG that Battle Network was. So I did not get very far in it and then immediately resolved that it was not for me. The design is so strange, but also kinda rad. You've got music for me. Okay. Hold on. Hey, sick, thank you. Let me, no, not there. We need that one for the people to see. There we go. You've clearly played more Mega Man Zero than I have. But these games came out at the time that I was really interested in pixel art. So even though I never played the Zero games, I am actually very familiar with how the games are sprited in their art style. And I have a lot of old pixel art that kind of uses a lot of Mega Man Zero as kind of like pose and star references for things. And the weird kind of like hips jutted out pose that Zero has in the early Mega Man Zero games made him very difficult to use as like a rig to design on top of. Anything that you used him as a base for made it very clear where the origin was from. But honestly, those white metal Speedos, fucking iconic. Who steps out of the house like this? They were kind of like, oh, this is a robot, so we need to give him some bulky armor to suggest robotness. But also, this isn't your mother's Mega Man X. We're more sleek and futuristic than this. So we need to have more organic-looking android-like limbs. And so they ended up with very human limbs and a very blocky crotch. And it's just strange, but also I live for it. It's great. Does it reach bad bitch bots territory? Maybe some of the, if this was like one of the later Mega Man Zero designs, because there's a point where they introduce essentially like cross fusions for these, right? Where you can kind of like take on the colors and aesthetics for hesitating. I'm like, where do I put this? Where do I put this? I don't think the fashion here qualifies for BBB. Goodness. But we're definitely not into I am looking respectfully territory. Thank you. I think this just sits very comfortably in solid adventuring, buddy, is where we sit. Is where we sit for this. I think, you know, if this was one of the other forms being offered, we would rank higher than that. But as it stands, we only end up with a solid adventuring, buddy, and that's our list. Let me go and hide our little big readout of our characters. We don't need that anymore. Goodbye. This is our listing. A pretty even spread. That is like something like 50. People really showed up and gave me 50 robots. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I really, genuinely, especially with to be vulnerable yet brave for a moment. I have gone through a period of, even though I went through a period of being very focused on the process of being an influencer, making my number go up so I could work with big PR companies and promote product. And part of that is a measure of audience engagement, and it became a whole...
We're more than happy to have you.
Thank you for the follow, Fungus Punk. Thank you for joining us in our moment of being vulnerable yet brave. We are more than happy to have you. Thank you. In this process of audience engagement, a follow. But you end up, when you end up putting your way in that mind of thinking, especially if you're focusing on it as a second job, right? It becomes the whole thing of every time you tweet something, you become obsessed with the metrics of it and how many people engage with it. Vulnerable and brave? I'm gonna fall deeper into a parasocial relationship with you if you keep being so relatable. Masoon, don't you know that I always have your best interests at heart? Don't you know that, you know, you putting your faith and adoration in me reflects onto you and also makes you a better person? Also, I'm selling brain force pills. Anyway, I will never stop joking about dark influencer shit. I find that stuff so funny. Anyway, yes, a big focus on that made me, every time I tweeted with something that would invite audience responses, fucking terrified of how many people would actually respond to it. Because if those numbers were low, that would make my general interaction average across all of my tweets low. And then when a PR company looks at it and goes like, ooh, those numbers aren't high enough, and we don't want to work with you as a result, that could be a problem. And to a degree, that could be a problem within one's own ears. You know, a very self-imposed stress. But genuinely, and I say this unfortunately, and I won't name names as to who it is. Genuinely, I've been through circumstances where I've talked to PR companies that work within my sphere of content, and being like, hey, what you're making really fits what I'm making. I'm making some good stuff that I think would reflect on your content. Let's work together. And they'd be like, that's nice of you to say, but your numbers aren't high enough. We would be interested in working with you if you started doing TikTok videos. And then I would rather never make internet again. I would never make internet content again, rather. You are in time. You are still in time for another hour and a half. I appreciate it. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Everybody has been very, very kind and very, very generous. Today, Stream Elements have decided to go and yell about that because I have that on a timer. Today is the first day that anybody has bought anything from my throne before, and I didn't know what to do or feel about it. It caught me genuinely by surprise. Got me fucked up. This is all a very long-winded way of saying, hey, I was terrified that I would be like, hey, I'm doing a birthday stream. If you have a favorite robot, please tell me I am genuinely interested. And people being like, nah, fuck off, mate. So the fact that I got 50 responses and was able to do an entire 3-hour stream around that, actually pretty sick. I'm so glad that everybody was along for the ride and genuinely interested in this little adventure. I'm gonna need to go and take a screenshot of this before I forget, because it needs to go on to Twitter so everybody can see, as well as the Discord. Give me a second.